now.
Free your mind.
Well, I got to tell you, I find this kind of interesting that if you look at today's Observer Dispatch, Andrew, the printed version today,
Yes.
I don't know if you realize it, but there was a terrible tornado in Rome.
Stop it.
Uh-huh.
You can't be serious.
It's true. And,
Oh, boy.
And no, while online they do, but not in the newspaper, no mention of anything that might have happened over the weekend.
Oh, my gosh. So apparently, as far as the OD is concerned, if somebody lived under a rock, Biden's still the Democratic candidate.
He is still in.
Oh, my God.
Well, you know what amazes me? We had...
that they're still charging people for that paper?
We had two... That amazes me. We both had two different people. One who had connections to a relative who works at the White House, and another in John Zogby, who all said Sunday, end of the weekend, it'll be announced. And sure enough, it's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
That's
it came
crazy,
in the
right?
form
So
of
that-
a letter on Joseph R. Biden letterhead that was
that his,
posted to
that's his
X.
middle name? What is it,
I
Robert?
think so. I don't know what his middle
Yeah.
name is, but I think that was the...
Well, J.D. Vance is always using Donald J. Trump. He always says Donald J. Trump.
giving him the J.
You know.
Trying
And of
to
course,
make sure that I'm right on that.
what you are going to hear from Republicans is if he can't finish out the campaign, if he can't run, how can he run run for the last 4 or 5 months of his presidency? And I guess one would ask that question. I think it's a fair question. We'll speak with Ryan Schmelz coming up in a bit. Trump had a rally yesterday, along with this over the weekend with J.D. Vance. Biden, of course, dropping out of the race. He's endorsing Kamala Harris. What do you think is going to happen there? Is she all in, and just like that, it's all over? You know that Whitmer congratulated Biden on the decision, but did not endorse Kamala Harris. Others have. Whitmer has not.
Yeah, a lot of people have. Gavin Newsom was said to be one of the possible people to run. He did not. He did endorse
Harris.
her. Yes.
And what I would say, though, is the ones you want to pay attention to are the ones who have not. And Whitmer is certainly one that's a name that's been thrown about. And I wonder, will they go to the convention, and will this be a competitive Democratic convention, which is 3 weeks away now?
Yeah, I think while there are some that have not, there is an overwhelming number of both congressional, Senate, and other Democrats that have come out and given her the endorsement. So while there may be some competition as far as the convention goes, I think a lot of the delegates may...
How much of the endorsement, though, is it's just the right thing to do?
Yeah, well...
You know, it's like, I never saw this coming. I had no idea. Maybe I'm a little suspect.
I mean, that's the
I think
ticket,
you can,
right? It's Biden-Harris. It always has been. So,
yes. Yeah.
It'll be very difficult to transfer some of that money raised to somebody other than Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
It's going to be...
However, can she beat Trump? Is it going to, in current polling, now this is where Republicans should be nervous. This is where Democrats should be nervous. Everybody should be nervous.
Mm-hmm.
Because without doing anything, they've allowed her to be the joke, the she's a clown, she's terrible. And the Biden administration allowed that to happen. Her work at the border was terrible. Chances are she's just carrying out Biden's wishes in those situations. However, so with no movement on repairing her image, she is about 2 points behind Donald Trump. So with a 3-point margin of error, it's pretty darn close. So why I would worry about that if I'm a Republican is they've not done anything to repair her image. So what happens if all of a sudden you come out and people are like, you know what, she's not so bad after all? Now, this is where I'd be nervous if I were a Democrat. What if the people come out and say, oh, my God, everything they said about her is true, and it's worse than that? Well, so the unknown right now, I think, is Kamala Harris.
Yeah, the interesting part about that, you bring up excellent points in both regards.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you for that. Thank you. But you used the word but.
But there aren't a lot of sound bites of Kamala Harris, and I think that's pretty common for a vice president too. I mean, they kind of always are designed to stay in the background.
Yeah.
If she comes out and has to have more of a presence, again, like you said, will it be
so
proving what people think already?
I guess there's three things that could happen. It doesn't move the needle at all. It moves the needle to the point where she's worse than I thought. Mm-hmm. Or, you know what? She's not so bad after all. So which is it going to be? I think that plays a big role. We'll talk to John Zogby about that coming up later on. How about the crowd strike? I was at Roswell on Friday, and they had to do some X-rays, and they did it the old-fashioned way. They peeled back my skin and went right in and looked because everything was shut down. No, they went. Dana-Farber canceled everything in Boston. There are hospitals around the country, but at Roswell, they kept all their appointments, and they went back. From what I could see, it looks like they went on another, like an older computer system. Because I heard the people behind the desk saying, "No, we're still using the older whatever."
And they should. They should have those backups. I
would think there would be a backup.
If anything, right? This is what this weekend has taught us.
But can you imagine? So we're going down we're driving down the road, and all of a sudden a commercial came on for CrowdStrike. Now, I've never, ever heard a commercial for that company before. Yeah. And all of a sudden, they single-handedly took out computers around the world. Boy, doesn't that scare us a little bit?
It should.
It should.
And to be honest with you, I was, very fortunate, and I feel bad for those who were, but I was not impacted in any way by the outage. I wouldn't have known it was going on had not been widely
other
reported.
Companies. Yeah. Well, if you're a Mac user, you weren't affected. This was really
all the more reason
confined to PCs. Jared Halpern is on this morning on the Biden exit of the race, what it all means. We'll speak with the Rome Salvation Army on the relief efforts in Rome. Also, the county, along with the Community Foundation, their fund is underway, and there's an update coming later on today on where they are. And Rabbi Diddy Walks, I should say, the Shabbat House in Clinton, just returned from a trip to Israel.
That's right. And so he will share that experience with us. Should be very fascinating. But on the subject of Rome, boy, I want to thank everybody who came out and supported
what a week.
The water drive and the financial drive, raising just about $3,000 for the American Red Cross in monetary donations.
And then hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cases of bottled water. It was just, I've never seen people react so quickly. And then I started hearing word on Friday, people were getting cases of water dropped at their home.
Yeah,
right on their doorstep. So you could see immediate reaction. They were getting it out immediately.
It was awesome to see because there was a trucking company, and I apologize, I don't recall the name of the trucking company offhand. Yeah, I'll try to find out.
Is it ours or no?
No.
Not ERL.
This is somebody from, we want to thank ERL and Utica Mag for their support in our drive specifically. But a local trucking company out that way had pulled up with one truck that was almost like a trailer, and then a smaller trailer and 2 dump trucks, and they immediately said they need this in South Rome. And we were taking some of it, some of it is now housed at the Rome Housing Authority's community center, but a lot of it went right to these trucks and went right into the city, as you said. So the water went to people almost immediately on Friday. It was really
yeah,
awesome.
it was awesome. And by the way, when we were driving back to the area from Western New York, we passed a caravan, a convoy, I should say. It was probably 10 or 11, 12 big giant trucks, and the label on the back was Power Restoration, and they were all coming from Canada.
Wow.
And I think we saw them somewhere between right around Waterloo is where we were passing them, and it just shows you the people, where people are coming from. They're coming from all over to assist in restoring the power for people here in this area.
They got it done quick. They got power. I think right now power has been fully restored to maybe all of the city of Rome, which is impressive. And but the rebuilding has begun. We were driving through Rome over the weekend after going out there for dinner, and wow, it was really just a terrible sight to see.
I'll give you an update on my trip out there. And this is after 3 weeks of taking this oral chemotherapy. My numbers, white count, which the doctor said it's still going to be 2 or 3 months before they can get an idea of how it's working consistently. But so far, everything is looking good. And for whatever this means to anybody, the white count, anything over 10 is and I might be giving this wrong, but in my head, this is how it is.
Okay, yeah.
So anything over 10 is it gets red flagged, and oftentimes it's either an autoimmune disorder or leukemia. So in my case, I had risen to about a 26 was where I was at.
Oh boy,
which is still relatively low considering when you reach the acute stage or higher, the number could be 100,000. Okay, so Anyway, but after 3 weeks on this medicine, my number is 11.
Wow, you're getting there.
That is spectacular. And one of the things that I've noticed in the last couple of days since it's gone down is the side effects have dissipated tremendously.
The medicine or the actual
the
disease?
I really didn't think I had any side effects of the disease.
Yeah.
But I think maybe I did. In the fatigue and aches and pains and all that. But in these last 2 days were the best I've had since all of this started. So
that's excellent.
It is, it's still has to regulate, still have to figure out what happens because eventually it'll keep going. I don't know anything about this, but what I can tell you is I feel better now than I have in a couple of months, which is pretty good. I feel.
That's excellent.
Mike says when you were in the X-ray machine, you heard outside the voice. They were so old school. You heard, "You've got mail." I think it was. But the fact that they kept their appointments, they kept everything up and running. But they were having a terrible time with this worldwide outage of computers. And they were getting, what do they call it, the death screen, where your screen just goes blue or whatever or makes noises, and you end up having to wipe everything out and reinstalling everything. So you could lose a lot of stuff.
And I knew several people who were supposed to be or were traveling.
The airline situation was brutal. And here's this. How about JetBlue had almost no problems whatsoever?
Yeah, Southwest either.
There were a couple of airlines that were almost
Delta and United
not affected at all, but the other ones were just grounded. It was something. I have a little something that Megan. Oftentimes we have people say, "Who's that redhead in the studio?"
Yeah.
Megan did yesterday after the announcement of Biden put together a little song parody to "Bye Bye Birdie." And it's really good.
Yeah, she did good. She has a few clips leading into it.
She does. So I'm going to play that on the other side of a break. So we'll get to that. Actually, it went national today, so I submitted it to we have a national service, and
way to go, Megan.
It was picked up nationally. Pretty cool. So she, with her song, will be on Markets Around the World. We'll do that coming up. Stand by. It's Monday morning at WIBX.
Let's face it, life can just get messy. John's Cleanouts and Property Preservation will take care of it for you. If you need help with clearing out your home or commercial building, John's Cleanouts will handle it. We understand sometimes it's more than just a cleanout, it's an accumulation of someone's life. We go the extra mile to do the job with integrity, and we're fully insured in the industry. Call John's Cleanouts and Property Preservation today and take the stress out of your mess.
The doctor's office that mixed up your files has your Social Security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info and last 3 addresses. Your info is in endless places that could accidentally expose your info to identity theft. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code CLAY at LifeLock.com. Terms apply. The doctor's office that mixed up your files has your Social Security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info and last 3 addresses. Your info is in endless places that could accidentally expose your info to identity theft. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code CLAY at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
It's common knowledge that after age 30, our metabolism changes. We have less energy and gain weight easier. There's a way to feel better, not in years or months, but sometimes in just days.
I'm Chuck Norris. I tried everything. Working with a team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick. Morning Kick is a revolutionary new formula that combines all my favorite supplements into one daily drink.
Morning Kick has probiotics to help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and powerful anti-aging supplements. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, and helps manage stress.
I look and feel better than I have in years.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com, use code SUPPORT, or text SUPPORT to 511-511 and claim 40% off. roundhouseprovisions.com, code SUPPORT.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee. You could be feeling these changes within just a couple of days.
Text SUPPORT to 511-511.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
Utica and the Mohawk Valley take up to 60 months to pay with no money down at Mattress Express on anything in the store for qualified buyers. See store for details. Commercial Drive next to Pet Supplies Plus in New Hartford, in Oneida, and the Glenwood Plaza by the movie theaters.
First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX. This is Keeler in the morning. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Make sure you have the record player on at night, the phone. Make sure the kids hear words. But you gotta, I mean, we gotta reassure. Look, here, my message to everybody I talk to.
We have some breaking news as President Joe Biden has just announced that he is dropping out of the 2024 presidential race. Bye, bye, Biden. Not gonna miss you, no. Bye, bye, Biden. Hasta la vista, Joe. We know you were senile, even AOC could see. And though you said you weren't, your donors disagreed. Bye, bye,
resolve our difference at the battle box. That's how we do it, at the battle box.
Time to say goodbye. Bye now.
Oh, there we go. That's Megan doing a little bye-bye birdie right there.
Bye-bye.
Bye
Biden.
Bye Biden. Wow. We will, as we said, right after the news at 7 o'clock, we'll speak with John Zogby and get to all of that. Boy, I tune in every morning just to sit in my car in the parking lot to listen to the two of you mope-a-dope on the Yankees.
Well, you can share in the moping the last 3 out of 5 games.
It's true. It's true. The Mets have struggled the last few games. And I'm going to tell you, they always struggle with the freaking Marlins. They really struggle with the Marlins.
Well, apparently anybody in our division or anybody with a losing record we struggle with, so don't feel bad.
Okay, well, there you go. You seem to relish every time in the fact that when the Mets lose now. You are a very hateful.
Wasn't that
hateful
way,
of
but
the Mets.
you're a little bit to blame for that.
Maybe. Well, the good news is the Mets and Yankees will be playing again soon.
This week.
Yeah, tomorrow, Tuesday and Wednesday at the stadium.
A robbery suspect led police on a high-speed chase through L.A. last week, then live-streamed video of himself, which showed that his 2-month-old daughter and her mother were in the car with him. Thankfully, the police were able to stop the suspect without anybody getting hurt. Here's part of the live stream and Deputy Tony LaMedico talking about the chase and then ultimately the arrest. Here we go.
Bro, just pull over and put your hands up, bro. My baby is in the car.
Oftentimes in situations like these, the bad guys use the baby as a shield. It's a great moment of cowardice that when you witness it, it pumps the brakes on everything. As a father, you just can't put yourself in that position as a good father. So when you see a father do that to their child, it strikes a chord in you that you want to make sure that you do everything in your power to bring this guy to justice.
What in the world?
What are you thinking? And there's the mother screaming in the background that this could end very badly. What are you doing? And yeah, it does seem like the guy is using the baby and the mother as a shield. Like, don't shoot at this guy because there's a baby in the car. Yeah. Officials in Florida are warning people of a scam phone call that asks people to pay money or be arrested for missing jury duty.
Oh, okay.
Here's Mitch Keeler, Chief of Staff and Operations at the clerk's office, talking about what a victim lost. What a victim lost. And I'll get through it. What a victim lost during this particular scam.
The victim lost $7,500. It was told to us that they were going to use it to purchase a new home. And when they got them on the phone or they made the call back, they told them if they would hang up that call, they would be arrested at that point.
Have you ever done jury duty?
I have not, and I'm wondering because I moved a few different times. If maybe I'm missing some mail or something, but I've never been called for. I have never even gotten a summons.
I had it, and there was nothing available. Like there were no cases, so I didn't have to go.
And I know two people who had somewhat notable trials. One of which was the trial of the woman who killed her mother in the North Utica Humphrey Gardens. I know somebody was on that trial. And then somebody just recently told me they were on the trial where I think it was in Rome, maybe, somebody stabbed a woman and...
Okay.
There were notable cases.
My great aunt was a juror on the Lindbergh trial.
Really?
Yeah. Back would have been, the 50s or whatever that was. And I remember, she was still alive, and she told us what it was like. It was unbelievable, the stories she told. That's not true. I've decided.
I know somebody that was on the OJ trial.
I think I've decided to become a pathological liar. I know a few, and some of the tales they tell are just unbelievable.
Oh boy, haven't we heard them?
We've heard them all.
Haven't we heard them?
Yeah, that wasn't true. And I don't even know when the Lindbergh trial was.
Yeah,
could have been the 40s.
Was it the 50s or 40s?
I have no clue. And then a 26-year-old grad student, Stefan, I'll get you. A 26-year-old grad student at the University of Missouri, Kansas City, spent a year living at a senior living facility where she would share her love of music and playing the piano with the residents in exchange for free room and board. Her name is Beth Christensen, talking about how much she enjoyed what she calls her residency at the old folks' home. Here we go.
That's like a really exciting, fun thing as an artist. I don't think that I would have ever thought this existed. Yeah, I've just loved it so much. Like, it's not just me making a performance for them, it's all of us coming together to celebrate music and to really enjoy the moment.
There you go.
What a nice story.
What a really wonderful person. Yeah, it makes me sick. But two women are going viral for sharing their so-called fluffy Coke. Which is a spin on the previous Coca-Cola and cream trends of dirty soda and pilk.
Oh, Pepsi and milk?
Yeah. Here are TikTokers. I'm not going to play this. It's stupid. An Ohio woman is accused of smashing out the windows of a random man's Tesla Cybertruck, all while she had children in the car. Here are the windows being smashed on the Cybertruck and the owner talking about the vandalism that occurred.
There were two kids in the back seat, and they were both crying. They, just witnessed something really bizarre and strange happen. You just never think something like that's going to happen until it actually does. I feel really sorry for the children, and we just really wish the best for everyone. We want everyone to come out okay on this.
Okay. What is it that she just doesn't like electric cars?
People are vehemently against them.
It's become political all of a sudden.
It has.
It's political.
I saw a photo.
It's like, oh, give me a break. You and your stupid little Tesla.
Which is funny because Elon Musk is a big
huge
Trump
supporter. I mean, we are so screwed up in our beliefs these days.
Well,
we like Tesla. We just don't like
any other cars. They don't like the mandates. They don't like the mandates.
Yeah, but the funny part is none of those mandates have really gone into effect. I mean, it's not like they're making you buy an electric car. And the companies out there, the motor companies, the Fords and whatever, they're jumping all over this. And what's happening is they're learning that people aren't buying as many of the electric cars as they thought. They're switching to hybrids, which are doing much better.
Because people can still have that gas backup.
Yeah. Here's Stefan Rabitsky, who had a very busy weekend. He was all over, and here he is now. Good morning, Stefan. Oh, Stefan, just take a deep breath, and now you can go. Well, hello, Stefan.
Stefan.
Well, hello, Bill, Andrew, and Davey.
Good morning. Good morning. What's going on?
Now, in the Democratic presidential race, the torch has been passed to a new generation.
Yeah, I guess it kind of has. Mm-hmm. Right? There's Biden's generation, and then if you skip 3, you get to Kamala Harris, I think. Yeah, you may be right. That is true.
Yes, and I think it's for the good. I think it was time for Biden to step down from the campaign. And
yeah, okay.
But from what I heard, he's not quitting his day job. He's just stepping down from the campaign.
That is true. Yeah. Well, I can't imagine you're going to see him resign from office. But you know what? If he declines much more, I don't know how he can continue. I don't know how he could. So.
Well, it'd be interesting to see if he comes out and does. I mean, obviously he's recovering from COVID, so he doesn't want to infect anybody. But it'll be interesting to see if he does address the nation here in the next day or so, or if he has a video message or something like that.
There's supposed to be a national address coming this week. We'll see. All right. And Stefan, by the way, do you want to say who you're for or against in the presidential race?
Not yet.
Okay.
But I'm leaning Democratic right now.
You are? Okay. All right. So you're leaning in the direction of maybe
Kamala Harris.
Whoever that might be.
Maybe.
Okay. All right. Okay, thanks, man. Have a wonderful.
We do have undecideds out there. Stefan
Yeah,
Rubitsky
that is
being
incredible.
one.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
Stefan, what's going to be your deciding factor? This is just the curiosity. Are you going to wait for another debate, or what's going to be the deciding factor for you? Do you think?
Well, I'm going to wait till everything till the Democrats pick a running mate and a debate and wait till the fall to decide closer to election day.
If it is Kamala Harris, she still has to pick a running mate, right? And you wonder who that's going to be.
She does.
Okay.
So that's going to be the interesting thing for me is...
All right, Stefan. Thank you.
Thanks, Stefan.
You have a great day.
Have a beautiful day.
You do the same.
You too.
Thanks so
is
much.
she going to... be presumptuous in anticipation of her getting the nomination and pick somebody now? Or obviously is she going to have to wait until after the convention and she gets solidified the nomination to pick somebody? That will be interesting.
Well, if it's not going to be, we'll see what John Zogby has to say, but I think that if it's not going to be a contested convention, you're going to see everything start moving in place. You're going to see them lining up the delegates. Someone like Whitmer will come out and endorse her, and they'll all rally behind Kamala Harris if it's going to be her. So it may happen before the 3 weeks, and then she would pick her running mate.
So I saw a meme this morning of the image of Tanya Harding looking at Nancy Kerrigan. And I think on the head of Nancy Kerrigan was Kamala Harris, and then on the body of Tanya Harding was Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, Hillary. I mean, how do you got to be if you're Hillary? But now think about this. This would be the first black woman running for as the nominee for president of the United States. That's where they're going to run. Now, I wanted to go back. President Biden, of course, announcing that he's not seeking re-election. He's the first sitting president to drop out since
Lyndon
Johnson. And of course, that was a crazy year, and it resulted in Nixon being elected president. Here's LBJ's announcement. This happened on March 31st, and this was 1968. Listen in here.
I shall not seek, and I will not accept the nomination of my party for another term as your president.
So you know who the favored candidate was there? It was not the vice president. It was Bobby Kennedy.
Yeah.
And then later, I believe in the month of June, Kennedy was shot and killed. So think about the turmoil they went through.
Oh.
And then that meant that the vice president would run, and Nixon ultimately won that year. The other question that was brought up was Ford. Of course, Nixon resigned office, and Ford had become the vice president. And then Ford, after that, was running for. So he was then running for president. So, and I think he was contested. I believe that year he was contested by Ronald Reagan, and Ford ended up winning out in the nomination and was challenged by Jimmy Carter, and Carter won by a slim margin over Gerald Ford. Ford being, your little Jeopardy question, the only president in U.S. history to not be elected as vice president and not be elected as president, because he ultimately was appointed vice president prior to becoming president of the United States. All of this stuff is I guess it's hard to not say this isn't surreal, right? What's been going on here? What a couple of weeks! What a couple of weeks!
Insanity
from an attempted assassination to Biden's. Prior to that, Biden's horrific performance on stage at the debate, to now Biden dropping out. I mean, you couldn't write this storyline.
Yeah, I mean, there were signs, too, that just reinforced the decisions, like as of recently, the BET interview where he called Lloyd Austin the black man. Which was tough.
We were at an event yesterday. Actually, Andrew was quite the singer yesterday.
Yes.
We were hogging up the karaoke line once again. But somebody had said, you know what, I have wanted 2 new candidates. I'm not happy with either one, and I don't think you're going to get that.
No,
but it was close, right?
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
It would have been awful.
An inch away, whatever. That's pretty darn close. So the craziness that we have experienced here in this unbelievable campaign for president of the United States. Craziness. All right, we'll speak right out of the news with John Zogby. And John is one who said, be looking, it's going to happen on Sunday. And sure enough, what happened Sunday, I thought it would come at night, but it was like mid-morning the word came out. They say a decision was made on Saturday night, but if that's the case, how did John and others know this was going to happen on Sunday afternoon? I kind of feel like this was something that had been in the works all week long. We'll see. We'll talk to John coming out of the news. Stand by for all of that. News is next on a Monday morning on WIBX.
Hi, I'm Cesar Milan. People are always commenting on how happy and healthy my dogs are. One of the reasons is the food my dogs eat.
Dr. Marty's Nature's Blend is a premium freeze-dried raw dog food designed to support your dog's health, happiness, and lifespan.
Their jaws are more flexible, their teeth are cleaner, and their coats shinier, and why they seem more youthful even as they age.
I'm veterinarian Dr. Marty Goldstein. I've helped countless dogs thrive with one simple concept. Your dog needs a high-meat diet similar to what their ancestors ate in the wild.
Dr. Marty created Nature's Blend using 50 years of nutritional research and experience, helping dogs make incredible turnarounds. Save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and get a free bag of Cod Krispies, their wild-caught, ultra-crunchy cod skin treats. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or text DEAL to 511-511.
Your order is backed with a 90-day guarantee.
All dogs are unique. Your dog results can enroll.
From the Stanley Theater Studios, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
She's already raised about $50 million. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, as Vice President Harris now runs for president, hours after President Biden dropped out of the race amid questions about his mental fitness and endorsed Harris to replace him.
Now Harris will have to earn the nomination formally at the convention. She needs 1,986 delegates. As of about 10 o'clock last night, 531 had already endorsed her.
And Fox's Jackie Heinrich reports from Delaware the vice president will be center stage today.
We're going to see Harris on the South Lawn today, standing in for Biden at an NCAA event on the South Lawn of the White House that was pre-planned because Biden is still recovering from COVID here at his beach house.
Former President Trump just posted on Truth Social that Democrats stole the race from President Biden after he won it in the primaries, writing, "These people are the real threat to democracy," which, of course, Democrats say about him. House Speaker Mike Johnson says if President Biden can't run, he can't serve and should resign. In a Trump interview that'll air on Jesse Waters' show tonight on Fox News Channel, the former president called for an investigation.
You had people that lied to the American public. And I tell you what, you ought to take a look at his doctors, because his doctors keep giving him this wonderful report. I'm not a doctor, but I saw him the other day, was unable to get up the children's stairs going into Air Force One.
9 days after the Trump assassination attempt, the Secret Service director will face tough questions at a House hearing this morning about security lapses that allowed the 20-year-old gunman to fire the shots. Republican Mike Turner chairs the House Intelligence Committee and tells CBS Face the Nation Kimberly Cheadle should resign.
He walked in with a ladder. He had a rangefinder. He had a weapon. He got onto a roof that was within short distance. All of these failures are obvious failures.
We've just learned 2 more Israeli hostages have died in captivity in Gaza after being kidnapped in the Hamas terror attack last year that triggered the war. Of the 120 hostages still in Gaza, 46 are dead. Today, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu comes to America. Wednesday, he'll address Congress. America's listening to Fox News.
Well, summer's here and the weather is beautiful. Everyone has a favorite outdoor activity: golf, bike riding, bird watching, long walks. Ask 100 people, you'll get 100 answers. But if everyday aches and pains are keeping you on the sidelines, I have one answer: Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a 100% drug-free daily supplement that helps your body fight pain naturally. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor uses a unique formula of natural ingredients. It doesn't just mask pain, it helps reduce or even eliminate it. Wherever you're hurting, back, neck, joints, or muscles, in 3 weeks or less, you'll start to feel the difference all day, every day. So whatever you like to do, swimming, pickleball, hanging out in the garden, Relief Factor can help you feel good again and let you enjoy all your favorite outdoor activities all summer long. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF and save on your first order. That's 1-800-4RELIEF. Fight pain naturally with Relief Factor.
There is a muted reaction to President Biden dropping out of the 2024 race from two American adversaries. A Russian spokesman says a lot can happen between now and November. China's foreign ministry spokesman had no comment, calling U.S. elections internal politics. This could upset China. Taiwan has started its annual drills, prepping for a potential Chinese invasion.
The drills are different this year. Gone are elements mostly for show, scripted displays of firepower, for example. Instead, Taiwan wants to replicate actual combat as closely as possible. There will also be nighttime exercises, and unusually, some of this will happen in the capital, Taipei. Officials expect this level of intensity to cause hiccups, but they want soldiers to wonder if the battle is for real. China views Taiwan as its territory and says unification will happen one day. It regularly stages exercises of its own near Taiwanese waters. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures are rising, coming off Friday's sell-off that dragged the NASDAQ down about 2% for the week, but the Dow still managed a slight gain last week. On the NASCAR track, they raced in Indianapolis.
Kyle Larson raced at the Brickyard in May in an Indy car at the Indy 500. He finished 18th, and because the race was delayed, was unable to complete the double with NASCAR's Coca-Cola 600. Sunday had a better finish for Larson.
And there's the caution. Larson's going to do it. Larson is going to win the Brickyard 400.
Courtesy NBC Sports, a caution on the last lap allowed Larson to cruise to the checkered flag. It's his fourth win of the season, puts him back atop the points race ahead of Chase Elliott. NASCAR will now take a 2-week break for the Olympics. I'm Tim McMaster, Fox News.
On the links in Scotland, an American won the Open Championship. Xander Schauffele. It is his second major tournament victory this year. Schauffele won the PGA Championship in May. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM News Time, 7:05. I'm Andrew Derminio. This update brought to you by Clinton Tractor, the leader in service. Visit clintontractor.net. We're at 62 degrees under cloudy skies. Your full weather forecast is coming up. Local lawmakers are reacting to President Biden's decision not to seek a second term in the White House. Mr. Biden announced yesterday he was dropping out of the race and is endorsing Vice President Kamala Harris. 22nd District Republican Congressman Brandon Williams put out a statement calling Democrats the party of chaos and saying people who cast ballots during primaries had their votes jettisoned. State Senator and Democrat John Mannion praised Biden for putting the country's needs first. Governor Hochul is now calling for federal aid to be given to area residents who were impacted by severe weather. If approved, money would go to communities in Oneida, Oswego, and Madison counties to help individuals affected after storms rolled through the region last week. The city of Rome and village of Canastota ended up being hit by tornadoes that caused extensive damage and saw one death. It'll be up to President Biden to sign off on a disaster declaration. Starting today, folks who live in Utica and surrounding areas will have the chance to pick up free food. The JPC Day of Celebration Food and Gift Giveaway begins at 2 p.m. and runs until 6:30 p.m. on West Street and from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. tomorrow. Among the items that will be available include produce, fresh fruit, oatmeal, and bread. People who attend are asked to bring a form of government-issued identification, such as a birth certificate, driver's license, or a Social Security card. Central New York drivers are paying a little less of their hard-earned money when it comes time to fill up their vehicles. According to AAA, the average cost for a gallon of regular fuel is $3.57. That's down a penny in the last week, but is 2 cents more than this time last month. Right now, the state average is sitting at $3.60, while nationally it's $3.50. And the Empire State Building is paying tribute to comedian Bob Newhart, who passed away Thursday While older generations remember Newhart for his TV shows in the 70s and 80s, younger people remember him as Will Ferrell's dad in the movie Elf. That's actually not the case at all. I don't know why I'm reading that.
I think he was the
he was the elf
stepdad.
dad.
Yeah,
he was the elf dad, the adopted dad.
Yes, the adoptive dad.
James Caan was his real father.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
Mm-hmm.
And that was partly filmed at the Empire State Building.
Believe it or not, it is. When you're on the Thruway, as long as my wife and I have been on the Thruway, we talk about all sorts of things, and we got into the whole Newhart thing. And she explained to me that he was the father, and I'm like, no, it was James Caan.
Right.
She said, no, that was the real father, and he was the elf adopted father. Yeah.
Correct, yes.
Okay.
The building tweeted a photo of Newhart in his elf costume saying, "We will miss you, Papa."
Okay.
Newhart was 94 years old.
And you know he had two. He had the series in the 70s, and he had a Newhart series in the 80s as well.
That's correct.
That was really big. Okay.
Your weather forecast is brought to you by Adirondack Home Furniture.
Here's the latest from the WIBX Weather Center. Partly cloudy skies this morning, giving way to occasional showers this afternoon. High of 87 degrees. Tonight, rain showers early, then thunderstorms overnight, low of 66. And tomorrow, mostly sunny skies with a high of 81. That's the latest. I'm Mike Johnson for WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Right now, it is 62 degrees under cloudy skies.
It's kind of cloudy out there.
It's 7:09.
Okay. Oh, you want me to do this?
Yeah, please.
I can do it.
Sports brought to you by IBEW Nika 43 local contractors. We'll make this a quick one because we've got John on the line, and some of the sports are depressing, like the Yankees losing yet again to their division rivals. 6-4 the final from the Bronx.
It has been.
The Rays beat the Yankees.
If I might say, for the Yankees, if you look at the last 30 days, it has been really rough.
It's been awful. And I predict this.
But it'll turn around.
Nobody's angrier than me, maybe other than Frank Policelli.
No,
who I continually get texts from.
I think you're the most angry.
No, well, listen, it's Frank and I are in strong agreement in this front.
Okay.
Marcus Stroman got the loss here in 2 unearned runs over 5 innings, plus as New York has dropped 3 of 5 to stay in second place in the AL East at 59-42. Same with the Mets; they've lost 3 out of 5.
Kind of. How often have I tried to tell Frank Policelli? There's a sign here at the station that says, "Please don't feed the animals." You're feeding them. You're feeding them, and every day I got to listen to it. Yes, the Mets got beat by the Marlins.
They did. And a lot of NFL teams starting training camp this week, which is a good sign in the sense that we all love football, but not in a good sign because we don't want to rush the summer. Hard to believe we're already at the end of July. And with that, we'll turn it over to John Zyber.
Let me go to what an announcement. And we heard it was coming. We heard it was going to be Sunday. It's kind of the worst kept secret in Washington. John Zogby on the line right now. John, good morning.
Hey, Bill.
I don't know that I dreamed this. Maybe I did. I seem to recall you saying in the very beginning, I'm not convinced Joe Biden is going to be the candidate at the end of the day.
Yeah. I did say that. And so I was shocked but not surprised.
Yeah.
And he had to do it right away. In fact, yesterday was the outer limits of acceptability. Meanwhile, I know it's been widely reported that he made the firm decision on Saturday, but I think closer to the truth is that he was edging towards that decision a while. They just needed time to pass the NATO summit and then pass the Republican convention. They also needed time to work out a plan B to make sure that this is done, in an orderly fashion, which they have to do.
Are you hearing because if you look at the reports, Joe Biden is very angry about this. He did not want to get out. He felt he shouldn't have to get out. Or is Joe Biden looking in the mirror, watching clips, and realizing I am declining very, very fast. I can't do this.
Oh, I think it's both.
Yeah.
I think this is a normal process of aging. When you look in the mirror and you say, I'm getting older, I'm getting older, I'm getting older, and then all of a sudden you look in the mirror and say, oh, I'm old.
Yeah.
And there are things that I just can't do, but it becomes that much harder when you realize that others are saying you can't do it anymore. On one hand, a recognition, on the other hand, defiance. So this was hard for him. I'm sure.
What are you hearing on Jill Biden? There are many that believe that I think somebody the other day had said, she loves being in the White House so much she just kept pushing him to keep going forward. Is that true? Is that the relationship they have?
I only know that is what I heard.
Yeah.
I don't have any inside track on that. And I mean, I can speculate that this has been very difficult for her. I don't think that she's the overly ambitious Lady Macbeth that she's been portrayed as. But let's give the benefit of the doubt and say she was watching your husband deteriorate. And on one hand, she's saying, fight it, stay, that's who you are, Joe. On the other hand, you're losing support on a daily basis. You'd lose a lot more if folks felt that it would only energize you more to stay if they keep calling upon you to leave.
Sure. Andrew,
we want you to put on your prediction hat once again. Will Kamala Harris be the nominee? Who may be her running mate, and will she face a contested convention?
There's a possibility of the contested convention, although I don't believe there will be one. The only blockage I think could come from progressives. And, the major progressives, Bernie Sanders, AOC, are already in line. They've been supporting Biden right on up to the end. They'll probably support Harris. Right now, the pressure is on to be a unified party. That is not an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
First of all, you got to round up all these delegates who are free to vote their conscience and persuade them. Remember, they were elected as Biden delegates. You've got to persuade state party chairs. You've got to persuade donors. It looks like those things are falling into place, and I think there's panic mode because there's only 105 days to go. They've got to unify going into the convention, come out unified after the convention, and then raise a ton of money. I think it's all possible because, remember, they're running against Donald Trump this time. I think things will fall into place. I think you've already seen a couple of potential contenders endorse Kamala Harris. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. I don't have any inside track, but you'll probably see Gretchen Whitmer and a few of the other names bandied about endorsing her.
And then there comes the point of where she's going to need to pick a running mate. And I just would what I had said earlier, and I want your take on it, is, if you look right now, I think she's down a couple points from Biden, who's down maybe a couple of points or almost in a dead heat with Trump. But this is without doing any repair of image on Kamala Harris. This is, they've allowed her to kind of sit out there on an island, and nothing has been done to repair the image. And so one thing's you have three opportunities here, I feel. It's, as everyone thought, it's worse than we thought. She's worse than we thought. Or, you know what? She's not so bad. That is going to be the big test over the next 30 days, I would assume.
Yeah, it is. And in 72 hours, we're going to know everything we need to know about Kamala Harris. She's already been vetted. Progressives will have a difficult time with some of her positions when she was Attorney General. I hear that some organizations of black women do not like her portrayal as of herself as a black woman when they feel that their experiences have been so far different from her experience. But I think in the final analysis, she's going to get a honeymoon for a little while. And the one silver lining here is she'll get a honeymoon this week. They'll go into the convention, all things, working out. She'll get another honeymoon in August, and then it's a very competitive race from there.
Yeah. Andrew.
Is it difficult, sort of the past that experience she had trying to run for president, not even really winning her home state and having to exit the primaries fairly early when she did run?
Yeah, that may come back and hurt her a little bit. They'll replay, some of the over-the-top things that happened in 2020, but that's never really hurt anybody else before. She gets to, remake her image and also to spin her experience as vice president because no one else has been there. There is a record of Biden success to run on. It's simply that Joe Biden just never had that message under control.
And then finally, any idea where she goes if it's her? And it seems like she's the one. Who does she select as her VP?
I think she selects a safe, moderate governor who has won in a red state or a battleground state. Gretchen Whitmer would be perfect, but I think it's probably a little too cute to have two women at the ticket. I think that becomes a target.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with either Andy Beshear of Kentucky, who's in his mid-40s, or Josh Shapiro of Pennsylvania. Shapiro, of course, winning and winning big and very popular in the most important battleground state. Andy Beshear as a fellow who can win Republican and moderate support.
Would that be the first Italian, by the way, Shapiro?
Yeah.
I think it would be, to be honest.
I don't know.
I'm trying to think about that, and I don't know of another Italian.
No.
Yeah.
Geraldine Ferraro.
Ferraro, yes, you're right. Boy, you got that memory, John. I was going to say...
I think Josh Shapiro is Jewish.
Ah, he's Jewish.
I was going to say, I thought you were being tongue-in-cheek
No,
there.
I have no idea. Yeah, I think you may be right, though. All right, all interesting. Abe Lincoln had a little Italian in him, too.
Yeah, right.
Yes, he did.
I believe he did. Yeah. Well, 23andMe says it, so it's got to be true. John, have a wonderful day. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Right.
I was thinking, what are you talking about?
I have no idea. Sounded Italian to me.
Just because it ends in a vowel doesn't mean he's Italian.
And Jewish. Has there been a who would the Jewish VP be? We need John back for that. I don't think there.
I don't know.
I don't think there is one. Lieberman was a candidate.
Yeah,
but I don't think there is one.
Yeah, make me Google it.
Okay, there you go. You can look that up. Got a break. We'll do Habaika's Free Money Question of the Day coming up in a few minutes. It's really unprecedented times we're dealing with right now. This becomes a whole new campaign. And just when you think so much has happened, nothing more can happen, I don't think, to be honest with you, I don't think we're done. A lot can happen between now and mid-October, now in November. Right?
If he joins the Democrat ticket, Shapiro would become the first presidential nominee
who is
of Jewish heritage,
yeah,
or the second vice presidential nominee of that background after former Democrat Joe Lieberman. So, yeah.
Or
because he
if
could
you're me,
become the
he'd be the first
candidate.
Italian, second Italian. The second Italian. Let's see. Nagel, Zogby knew Biden was dropping out on Sunday because it was National Ice Cream Day. Maybe right.
His favorite day.
Wayne, who would remove Biden if he doesn't step down and needs to? Well, there could be. They could do it. Congress could do that.
Yeah,
but
25th.
that was never going to happen. And I guess that's. He
had also messaged in
Robinette, by the way. Robinette is the R in Biden's middle. It's his middle name, Robinette.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Did you know that?
I didn't.
Well, Thanks, Rob, for that.
Wayne messaging in about Kamala. This is not her first day in politics. She has been around enough. People don't have to feel her out. She has shown she is not a go-getter.
Okay. Well, listen, I got to say, I really believe it's what we had said earlier. It's going to be, she's just what I thought she was. She's worse than I thought she was.
She's going to laugh her way into
or she's not as bad as I thought she was. And oh, by the way, Mike says if you want an Italian VP, Andrew Cuomo's got his hand up in the corner. He's ready to go. We'll break and come back at WIBX.
Ready to hit the road with confidence this summer? Look no further than Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, your one-stop shop for top-quality tires at unbeatable prices. Now through September 2nd, get up to $130 back on a Firestone Visa prepaid card when you buy a set of 4 eligible Firestone tires. Or buy 4 eligible Bridgestone tires and get up to $140 back on a Bridgestone Visa prepaid card. Experience the thrill of savings on every mile. To learn more and to schedule an appointment, visit Tallman'sTire.com.
Your summer of fun starts with AmeriQ. Enjoy no payments for the first 90 days on new and used auto, motorcycle, boat, rec loans, and more. Wherever summer takes you, go further with AmeriQ. And 90 days with no payments. Offer expires July 31st. Apply today at ameriq.org/no-pay. Application subject to credit approval. Automatic payments required. Interest begins accruing on date loan is opened and will be amortized over the monthly payments. Membership eligibility required. Insured by NCUA.
Hi, I'm Cesar Milan. People are always commenting on how healthy my dogs are. One of the reasons is the food my dogs eat.
Dr. Marty's Nature's Blend is a premium freeze-dried raw dog food designed to support your dog's health, happiness, and lifespan. Save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and get a free bag of cod Crispies. Go to drmartypets.com/good or text GOOD to 511-511.
Your order is back with a 90-day guarantee.
All dogs are unique. Your dog results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply.
The 2024 Summer Meet at Saratoga Racecourse is underway, featuring the nation's top horses, jockeys, and trainers. Thoroughbred Racing's premier meet continues Wednesdays to Sundays, every week through Labor Day. Whether you want to class it up for brunch, handicap the races, or feel the thrill of the finish line, our many ticket packages have something for everyone. Join the party and experience a slice of history by visiting nyra.com/tickets for all individual and group packages.
Whitesboro Central School District is looking for bus drivers to join their team now. Whitesboro is a leading school system in central New York with 7 schools, 3,100 students, and a 92% graduation rate. You can help drive our students' success. When you drive for Whitesboro, you get pay that's based on your experience, great benefits, a flexible schedule, and summers off. Call Andy at 315-768-9740 or stop by the garage, 20 Wood Road, Whitesboro.
Utica's first cannabis dispensary is local, licensed, and now open to all. Exit 31 Exotic is your home for edibles, flower, vapes, and all your cannabis needs. Visit Exit 31 Exotic at 255 Genesee Street or online at uticacannabisco.com.
For use only by adults 21 years of age or older. Keep out of reach of children and pets. In case of accidental ingestion or overconsumption, contact the National Poison Control Center hotline 1-800-222-1222 or call 911. Please consume responsibly. License number OCMCAURD 2400076.
Looking for the perfect ride this summer? Then stop in to Steed Pawnee Chevy in Herkimer with these unbeatable deals. Lease the all-new 2024 Trax LS, just $296 a month, 36 months with 10,000 miles per year. Want to reduce your carbon footprint? Drive the all-new electric 2024 Chevy Equinox EV for just $312 a month, or the new electric 2024 Chevy Blazer 2LT, just $328 a month, each for 24 months and 10,000 miles per year.
Customers must qualify with top-tier credit through GM Financial. Offers are available on select models only. Lease offers for Trax and Blazer require current eligible lease in the household, and Equinox and Blazer require additional select model and household. See salesperson for details. $2,000 down payment plus all taxes, fees, and first payment are due on delivery. Must take delivery by 7/31/24.
Stop in and see why it's always easy to do business at Steed Pawnee Chevrolet or online at SteedPawneeChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
paid for by government. Did you hear? A secret hoard of 1904 $20 gold Liberty coins have been found. These gorgeous 1904p gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck, and less than 500 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this secret U.S. gold coin discovery a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and you can own a piece of the hoard. When you call, you are guaranteed a 1904 gold Liberty struck at the iconic Philadelphia Mint. With limited availability, you must call now. These 1904 dated gold coins are still in uncirculated condition with brilliant luster. That is 120 years of history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-973-9819. Call now and you'll receive a free bonus, a $75 value free with every order. Call 1-800-973-9819 now to secure your 1904p $20 gold Liberty coins before they sell out. That's 1-800-973-9819.
Keeler in the Morning invites you to connect with us through telephonic communication at 315-736-0186. Or use the Call Us button on the WIBX 950 app. For additional contact methodologies, please refer to WIBX950.com.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
And the official copy of the Keeler in the Morning radio program is Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. Chuck, make sure everything is tip-top and that drive-thru is lightning fast. You don't have time. You're trying to get to work. You're in, you're out, you're on your way. Whether it's coffee, iced coffee, the lattes, the matcha latte, which is available, breakfast sandwiches, bagels, donuts made. I'm going to tell you, we were out of town and traveling over the weekend.
Yes, you were.
And my wife was like, I'm going to get a glazed donut out of town. It was so dry, she took a bite out of it, and that was the end of it.
Oh, God.
Dry and stale. Daylight Donuts, those glazed donuts will melt in your mouth. It's unbelievable.
Wow.
By the way, over the weekend, the Herkimer Originals played UConn in the basketball tournament.
How'd they do?
Well, it certainly was what was expected. I kind of expected this to happen.
Yeah, we were optimistic, but
85-52 was the final. Although I got to say, I would have been like, okay, if it's like 116 to 45. I mean, wow, that was an embarrassing showing.
Mm-hmm.
But up against UConn,
they held their own.
85-52.
Oh, well.
So there you go.
Not too bad.
Not bad. And the exposure is what they were looking for. The exposure of the storyline of basketball being invented in the village of Herkimer many years ago. All right, you have comments, Andrew. What do you have?
Yeah, some dating back to Friday. There was the possibility of the Honor America Days parade still happening, but this from Debbie in Rome. Saying,
I thought the Honor America thing is all going forward.
It is not. The Honor America Days celebration, including the parade, orchestra, and fireworks, will be postponed as a result of tornado damage. The parade route is in very rough shape.
Didn't they tell us, though, that on Saturday, on Friday, that...
I think that there was a possibility it was going to go forward, but I do not believe that is the case. So we'll have to check on that. The parade route is in rough shape right now, and we feel city, police, and fire resources should not be diverted away from the relief effort in order to put on the event. We are discussing the new date at this moment, and that is from a member of the Chamber of Commerce.
Okay, all right.
Josiah in Whitesboro, Peter Gansevoort, not Paul Revere. I think maybe that's the mural on the building that was destroyed. I could have been mistaken there when I said that, so I apologize if I was.
That's not Paul Revere.
I had always thought it was.
I always thought it was, too.
Now, there's the Revere, which, what was awesome is Saturday night coming home we went out to eat in Rome.
I've heard people refer to it as Paul Revere.
That's what I thought, too.
Yeah.
But we did see from 49 as you're going back into Utica, the beautiful Revere copper light.
That is cool. That was
from
not
the
effective.
Highway.
Yeah.
Which was awesome.
And the marquee is up at the theater, and there could have been so much more damage. And I hate to say, there are still people that are living in shelters right now because their homes are unlivable.
Very difficult. Yeah.
Terrible.
John from Bridgewater last week. Andrew, have you heard from Lance and Lee? Did they suffer any damage? Wow. We have not heard from him. Hopefully he's doing okay, and hopefully he was not impacted. Christine in Whitesboro, I think prior Mayor Jackie Izzo and her administration should be recognized for enacting disaster recovery policies in place that I'm sure came into play. Sue in Utica, Barack and Michelle Obama have not endorsed Kamala, man and woman of color. Cindy in Rome, Joe Manchin is now considering switching back to Democrat and running for president. That would be interesting.
That is true.
And Deeds in New Hartford, you are a liar, Bill. Daylight donut. Oh, okay. Some people he's saying that he doesn't like the Daylight donuts.
Oh my God, I think they're the best in the world, and those glazed, especially when you get them when they're made fresh right there every day, just amazing.
Deed's
Stephen,
not a fan.
Bill, the torch has been passed to a new generation in the Democratic presidential race. Stephen looks at things with such an optimistic eye. John, however, now I got to tell you, John is the Q guy, QAnon,
on YouTube,
and John watches on YouTube. And he's been saying, I've been saying for years, makes sense considering the laws and orders that are being current. Wait till you see what's coming. 2020 is not over. Well, 2020 ended 4 years ago, didn't it?
It did.
Maybe he meant to say 2024. The Democrat Party is going to be completely destroyed, says John. Kamala is not black. Wait for this drama to unfold. Okay. You haven't seen nothing yet. Buckle up. I got a Q post from 2019 mentioning CrowdStrike. And John is a QAnon guy.
Okay.
Okay. John, couple questions. Did we land on the moon?
What moon?
And what is Hillary's favorite kind of blood? And
positive.
It might be. I want to run for president.
1, 2, 3, 4 electoral votes.
Yeah, John, man, you've gone down the hole. And I'm going to tell you something. I have a personal friend who's gone down the rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny that when they start going down the road of what's really going on out there, like Obama's really running the country, Hillary and that pizzeria thing with baby smuggling, and I mean all of these things.
Mm-hmm.
And there's more, but they all claim more is coming. This is all just the beginning. But I do believe that they feel that Trump is the chosen one and is religiously the chosen one. So God has chosen Donald Trump as the savior. And when I hear these things, I do kind of wonder, like, so God wants to only save America, by the way, where we really don't care about the rest of the world.
Right.
God. And he's chosen Trump. And now even more from this person that I know, it becomes even more destiny, religious destiny, because he wasn't killed with the bullet. So, John, I'm sure you would agree with all of that stuff. And as John says, it's coming. It's coming. You haven't seen anything yet. My question also, John, would be, will Andrew and I be spared? And Davey, too. I mean, will we be okay during this, or are we going to be wiped out as well?
I will be.
You think you're going to be wiped out?
I'll be fine, yeah.
Well, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine.
Yes.
I'm screwed.
I didn't say that now.
Any other comments?
None that I have right now currently.
Okay. Davey, let's do Hobica's free money question of the day. How much money are we looking at here today?
$100.
We're going to start the week off at $100.
Take Kathy.
Kathy, I didn't even see she was there. I'll get to her in a second. All right, so it's $100. And how much money are we? So it's $100. What caller number do you want? We can do that right now.
Caller 8.
8th caller right now. Your chance to win a C-note from the Hobica Law Firm. 8th caller, 315-736-0186 from WIBX. Caller number 8. Hello, Kathy. Good morning.
Good morning.
I wanted to say thank you to everybody in the Red Cross.
Okay.
The last few days, they really helped me and my husband out, and we're greatly appreciated.
Well, I'm so sorry to hear what you're going through, Kathy.
We made out pretty good. It could, we lost our cherry tree in the backyard and the rabbit hutch, but otherwise, and a few shingles off the garage, but otherwise we'll be okay. But we've checked with, our neighbors were good enough to help us, so it's greatly appreciated. And we checked with, some of our other friends and relatives, and everybody is, so many people have got trees on their houses.
It's just terrible.
This area up near Bell and Broadway really has gotten hit hard.
But you are really. It seems that you're extremely emotional over the amazing support that there is out there from people in Rome and outside Rome.
Definitely, and also, on our street we all have good neighbors, but we pretty much, all have busy lives. And when I saw what everything happened to all our neighbors, everybody just all pitched in. That meant a whole lot.
All right. Well, I'm glad you're doing okay,
And
Kathy.
if you need anything, Kathy, you can reach out.
Yep.
I want to thank everybody who,
Thank
again.
you.
Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
I want to thank everybody again who took the time to donate, water and everything else.
We're going to come right back with our free money question of the day. It's worth $100 here this morning. And I believe it'll be Jerry and Herkimer who's taking a shot this morning. Pretty good, Jerry. You stand by. We're doing you next. And then Greeley Ford on the... Are you with AT&T? And if you are, they've been hacked. So we'll get to that. Also, the CrowdStrike outage. And Greeley has some other stories that are, I think, very, very interesting. We will speak with Greeley Ford coming up on WIBX.
Sometimes intimate moments happen spontaneously. At Hims, we know it's always better to be ready. And the best way to be ready anytime is to go to hims.com today. Because when you go to hims.com/radio, you'll find doctor-trusted ED treatments for less, with the same active ingredient as Cialis. Available in daily pills or chews, Hims gives you that boost of confidence, knowing you can be ready whenever the mood strikes. To connect with a licensed medical provider, just go to hims.com. No in-person appointments or awkward conversations required. If prescription medication is right for you, it'll be shipped to your door for free. Starting at less than $2 a day, you can get an ED treatment prescribed 100% online, all for a fraction of the price of name brands. Get your confidence back with Hims. Get started with a free 100% online consultation today at hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. hims.com/radio.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Utica in the Mohawk Valley, the back-to-school blowout has begun at Mattress Express. We know this economy poses challenges to many of you, so take up to 60 months to pay with no money down for anything in the store for qualified buyers. See store for details. We have no credit check payment plans as well. No one else has all the brands under one roof in New York State that Mattress Express has. And right now, get up to a $300 prepaid Visa card on select Tempur-Pedic King and Queen sets, $200 on Stearns & Foster, $100 on Sealy. If you've ever thought of getting a bed where you can make each side soft and firm and pick your number on each side, we have the Smart Bed by Instant Comfort. Shop ours first. Compare the price. Compare the features. A reversible cover, cool for summer, warm for winter. The Flex Set in King or Queen. A 25-year industry-leading warranty. And you get a $750 prepaid Visa card and 5 years, no interest, no money down for qualified buyers. Go to mattressexpressny.com for locations. Call 1-800-NEW-BEDS or just stop in.
Whitesboro Central School District is looking for bus drivers to join their team now. Whitesboro is a leading school system in central New York with 7 schools, 3,100 students, and a 92% graduation rate. You can help drive our students' success. When you drive for Whitesboro, you get pay that's based on your experience, great benefits, a flexible schedule, and summers off. Call Andy at 315-768-9740 or stop by the garage, 20 Wood Road, Whitesboro.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
I planned to rearrange my closet, but I stopped after picking the clothes up off the floor.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's award-winning language learning app will help you start speaking another language. Start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
Comment tu t'appelles?
Comment tu t'appelles? Vous êtes où?
Vous êtes où?
Babbel's bite-sized lessons make it easy to learn words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks,
"How's your French going?"
you can say,
Babbel est amusant et facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue. Et cela ne prend que 15 minutes par jour.
when you want to really learn another language, it starts with Babbel. Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at babbel.com. Just go to babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's babbel.com. BABBEL.com.
Hi, I'm Cesar Milan. People are always commenting on how healthy my dogs are. One of the reasons is the food my dogs eat.
Dr. Marty's Nature's Blend is a premium freeze-dried raw dog food designed to support your dog's health, happiness, and lifespan. Save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and get a free bag of cod Crispies. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or text DEAL to 511-511.
Your order is back with a 90-day guarantee.
All dogs are unique. Your dog results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Alrighty now. Jerry is in Herkimer, ready to take a shot at Hobica's free money question of the day. Joseph and Andrew Hobica at 315-724-1600 for all of your legal needs. Hobica Law Firm. Hello, Jerry. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
Good. You ready to go?
I'm ready.
All right. We have a good question for you today. It's topical and all of that, so it's a goodie. Get it right. It's worth $100 from the Hobica Law Firm, and here is your question. After this weekend, if somebody today walked into the Baseball Hall of Fame and stole the Wee Willie Keeler plaque, how many plaques would be left at the Baseball Hall of Fame? So it's basically the current number minus one. Ready, go.
Boy, I have no idea.
Throw a number out.
89.
How many days in a year?
365 days in a year.
Mm-hmm.
But if I am correct, Davey, and you can confirm this, I believe it's 345 if one was removed, making it the current number 346. Is that correct, Davey?
Correct, Bill. 346.
Okay. There are 346 plaques or members of the Baseball Hall of Fame. That's an amazingly small number considering how old the Hall of Fame is, right? It shows you how elite it is to get into that into the hall. So, well, Jerry, we're going to give you the all-in-one food and fun card. It's $25 gift card, good at all of the properties that are assumed by the Comets. It includes Taylor and the Cook, Babes, where you'll enjoy brunch, lunch, dinner every single day. Brunch is Saturdays and Sundays. And Taylor, I mentioned Taylor and the Cook, Aquavino, Cookies, Q and Creamery, all of that stuff. So you hang in there, and Davey's going to hook you up.
Thank you very much. You have a good day.
All right, you do the same.
You
Thanks
as
so
well.
much. Davey, that's Jerry, and he wins the $25 gift card. I don't know if you were affected by this CrowdStrike outage. It's amazing that one update took out the bulk of computers in the world.
Yeah, software update.
Unbelievable. Really unbelievable. On the line right now is the one and only Greeley Ford. Greeley on CrowdStrike. Let's start with that. Shocking, right?
Kind of, yeah. It kind of lets you know how we're all interconnected, doesn't it?
It really, really does. Although, if you're a Mac user, you are not affected.
Yeah, I had gone without any hitch on Saturday or Friday.
Yep.
It didn't affect Mac or Linux users. So that's because CrowdStrike is one of those internet security companies that runs software updates in the background. And if you remember the AT&T outage several months ago.
Yes.
is the same type of thing. It was an update that wasn't coded correctly, and it just took everything with it down. Some 29, 30,000 companies with CrowdStrike, and which equates to millions and millions of computers.
Yeah, it does.
So,
wow.
I can tell you as a, I'm not, I drive for a living down here now, do a lot of airport shuttle stuff, and all of my Southwest rides, as you guys talked about earlier, were on schedule. Delta, some other ones were canceled. The riders canceled.
I think it was Delta and United, because my sister's boyfriend, who was supposed to fly back to D.C., his flight got canceled, so he's having to fly out tonight.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. If you could, I wanted to talk about AT&T as well. And the hack that occurred. Well, it was a what do we call? I can't come up with a word. A data breach. The data breach at AT&T. What does it mean for all of us AT&T users?
Really, in my opinion, and I'm not officially speaking for AT&T or anything, of course, but in my opinion, it doesn't mean much.
Okay.
What they got a hold of were something called CDRs, call detail records. I know about them pretty well because I used to testify as an expert of records and trials for the DOJ, for various county prosecutors. I regularly appeared on a witness stand to explain what these records were to juries as prosecutors were trying to establish where a defendant was. And these are just switch records. They're records of what happened behind the scenes, not what you see on your bill, which is all cleaned up, and billing records and so forth. But these are actual switch records that just show what site you were on, who you texted, who you called, what time it was, and it's in GMT, Greenwich time, which is London.
Okay.
Everything's standardized. And so it's just that kind of data, and more data than you'd ever want to see. And it's all behind-the-scenes stuff that just explains the routing, the attachment, sector, things like that. There is no information in those records concerning identity of who the user is. There's no information such as the content of your text messages, nothing like that at all. And don't forget, any iMessages wouldn't be in it.
Wouldn't be in there.
That's data.
Yeah. And do you so you feel AT&T will now be coming up with some sort of a here's our plan going forward. You're going to get this off your bill, and we're going to give you this this software to help you, LifeLock or something like that. You don't see that coming.
Oh, they may. They have to be concerned about their reputation too, even though this was not their company. It was a vendor that was doing business for them that had access to this information. Why they had it, I don't know. I don't understand what their role is in the scheme of things. But what I'm saying is the data, it's no personal information whatsoever, just phone numbers.
It's really probably far more damaging to AT&T and their reputation than anything else.
Precisely. Exactly it is. Yes. Not to actual users.
Almost like as if, look what we just could do to you. Look what we did to you. And that is the danger that every big company has today. Like it, I mean, it's horrible to think about it, but it is the danger that is out there.
It is, and if you hold your customer base's personal information like that, it costs you more for insurance, all kinds of things for that reason.
And one thing, I don't know about you, but I am so excited about the AI addition to Siri and the Mac platform coming in the fall. This is going to be unbelievable, Greeley.
It already is. I mean, look at some of the deep fakes, or even as they call them, the deep fakes so far that you're seeing.
Yeah.
It's going to make it harder and harder to tell the truth, to distinguish what is the truth.
How do you determine what's real and what isn't real? That is going to be so very difficult going forward. I don't know how we're going to do it. And then
we all have to do our own homework.
You got to do your research. You got to do your own homework. We're speaking with Greeley Ford, who is an expert in many areas. You really are, Greeley. You're broad.
Have you been talking to my wife again?
I'm just telling you. And then you've had some. This after the now the Secret Service is actually saying, well, yeah, we did make some mistakes, some big ones. You've had some dealings with the Secret Service. Are you surprised at the lack of security on former President Trump?
Well, I've had several experiences with Secret Service, and the first one being the one that I thought was the most lax in security, and but all the others were pretty. They were pretty high tech and very much restrictive and so forth. Like for instance, we went to Mar-a-Lago several years ago, and we went through a great deal of security getting in, the mirrors under the car and all that kind of stuff. And we went there with members of Mar-a-Lago. And I had the opportunity there while having dinner to meet President Trump. And while I was standing there talking to him for about 5 minutes, standing there face to face, we were surrounded by about 8, maybe 10 Secret Service guys. And they encircled us. And it was pretty cool. It was about 5 or 10 minutes that we talked. We talked about New York. Told him I was the liquor commissioner from New York at this point and at that time, and that I just wanted to let him know that all of his businesses were apparently being run pretty well. I hadn't seen any violations, and he laughed about that. Thought that was funny.
Yeah.
And but it was pretty cool. And then a couple of weeks later, we had the opportunity to actually go to the White House. And we went, first of all, through the East Wing, which is the public access, went through all of that. That's pretty cool. And that had its own Secret Service inspection and so forth. And then we went out, then we went out and came back in through the West Wing entrance, which was even a tighter screen to everything. That was incredible. And then we went on to the West Wing, and we had lunch there in the naval mess below the Oval Office, and went through. We had a nice private tour of the West Wing, which is like pretty much the coolest day of our lives.
Wow!
But once we got in, nobody bothered us. It was cool, and it was just a wonderful experience. So in those times, it was great. The one time when I met Vice President Cheney, when Senator Meyer was running for election to Congress.
Yeah.
And Vice President Cheney came up to do a fundraiser for him. And I remember we had to walk through a hangar of some sort that was just full of junk and stuff. It was like a hoarding kind of place. It was interesting. And we walked out to meet him and everything. And I remember I had to go to the bathroom. And I went back in, I found the bathroom, and came back out. And nobody checked me when I came back out again. It made me think of the Godfather scene. So, you know what I mean? Which one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Where he goes to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, if I did have some ill intentions, they would have left it wide open.
Yeah.
Just a thought that I had. But otherwise, I was surprised that they didn't check me again when I came back out again.
I have all those feelings, too. It's like, if I wanted to do something, here's how I would be able to do it. You'd never act on that, but it is shocking that you can, you could get away with such a thing. Just think of the number of soft targets we have around the country and around the world. That does exist in high security places like the White House as well.
Yeah. Well, you think about if I did want to do something, how would I crack the system?
Yeah, right.
And that's what apparently some people do and actually go through with it, unfortunately.
Great stuff, Greeley. As always, we appreciate your insight. You've done many, many things in your life, and you have an amazing amount of experience, life experience that you share with us, and we appreciate that.
One other thing I wanted to comment on real quickly here. I always thought that this is with Biden resigning. I thought that it should have been Kamala elevated to president right away. She's the rightful heir, just like Biden was in 2016. It's kind of ironic that, his vice president isn't getting the gig like he didn't get it, back in 2016, which was the first time since Truman in 1952, when his vice president didn't get it, the party picked someone else. I kind of thought that Kamala, that what they should do, if he really wanted her to be president, he should resign now, shouldn't he, and make her president. And that way she's in the driver's seat like Ford was, as you mentioned earlier, back in 1976. So I'm not sure what kind of game is being played on.
And unfortunately, Ford didn't win. But, he's coming off all of that horrible, that was shocking news. Watergate was the change of Watergate in Vietnam, really. The change in the way we deal with our political leaders.
And you look at Watergate now, and you realize it was child's play.
That was nothing.
Over the past few years. It's nothing.
I know. It's crazy. All right, good stuff, Greeley. Thank you as always.
Have a good day, guys.
You
Bye-bye.
do the same.
All right, you
Thanks.
too, Greeley.
That is Greeley Ford. Let me quickly go to Joe Malacci. I want to get an update on the World Series of Botch that occurred over the weekend in Rome. Yes, there are some things that are still going on. I'm assuming a amazingly successful weekend with great weather. Joe, do we have you there? Hi, I got you now. Go ahead.
I'm still here.
Yep.
No, I couldn't have asked for a better turnout. It was an amazing event for so many reasons. The support from the bocce community and the local community. So on Friday we had announced that the club was going to be donating $5,000, and it was matched by another individual. And I want to say that just donations from people that were there and in attendance. We haven't tallied it up yet, but it's approaching another $9,000.
Wow, that is
just
awesome.
From people coming in and putting money in the donation boxes.
Wow,
it became almost a competition. We would announce when somebody made a donation, and so another group or club would come in and make an even bigger donation.
That's incredible,
and it was just amazing. It was just the outpouring was amazing. And then we our T-shirt vendor, Jared Buttonshawn, he was able to come up with a logo very quickly. He put together a T-shirt, Rome Strong, and he sold out of his transfers. He sold 90 T-shirts.
Wow!
And all that money that's spent on that shirt, 100% of the proceeds are going to be going to the relief fund as well. So, and he'll be making more. So I can provide you with a QR code if you want.
Okay, cool.
That's awesome.
Put it on your website.
All great stuff.
So no, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Yes. And then another great storyline. So there was a team out of Ohio that won, but they had a local kid on their team, 15-year-old Nico Fox, and they won the World Series. So Nico Fox, at 15-year-old, becomes the youngest participant to ever win the World Series. So you might want to have him on your show at some point. And then there's a family, the Ciotti family. They won their 14th title. That was also a record. So just a lot of history making going on at the World Series, and we had so many people come up to us and thank us for having the event. People that were affected by the storm. Yeah, because otherwise they just came down to get their mind off things, and they just really appreciate it.
Amazing, Joe. As always, thank you so much.
Oh, you're at the top of the hour, so I'm trying to squeeze a lot in.
Nice job. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
The Trump campaign getting ready to face a new candidate. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That after President Biden dropped out of the race and endorsed his vice president.
This morning, still, Democrats cannot point to a single state where Kamala Harris now puts in play where it wasn't before.
Senior Trump campaign advisor Jason Miller tells Fox.
You look at Arizona and Nevada, well, Kamala Harris was Joe Biden's border czar. That's going to be a disqualifier. You take a look at Georgia, Minnesota, where Harris's weak on crime policies will be a disqualifier.
The former president on Truth Social wrote Democrats stole the race from President Biden. Then he's told Fox there should be an investigation into how Americans were misled about the president's mental fitness.
The Clintons say they are, quote, honored to endorse Kamala Harris, and they aren't alone, with 178 Democratic lawmakers following suit with their endorsements.
Fox's Brooke Simon also reports other Democrats have yet to back Harris, despite her raising $50 million already.
Former President Obama issuing a statement praising Biden's work in office without mentioning Harris, instead calling for an open process.
Senator Joe Manchin, who initially had considered re-registering as a Democrat to run, just told CBS he will not. 2 hours from now, Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle will testify at a House hearing into security lapses in the Trump assassination attempt.
Many Republican lawmakers want her to resign. Cheadle says she's happy to come here, saying in a statement, "I look forward to the panel examining what happened and providing recommendations to help ensure it will never happen again."
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson of the Capitol. 2 more Israeli hostages have died in Hamas captivity in Gaza. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will address Congress on Wednesday, though some Democrats will boycott, upset over the war's effect on Palestinian civilians.
Meanwhile, the Israeli military has ordered the evacuation of an area of Gaza designated a humanitarian zone. Commanders say they're about to attack Hamas fighters who've used the area to launch rockets against Israel.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. America's listening to Fox News.
Well, summer's here and the weather is beautiful. Everyone has a favorite outdoor activity: golf, bike riding, bird watching, long walks. Ask 100 people, you'll get 100 answers. But if everyday aches and pains are keeping you on the sidelines, I have one answer: Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a 100% drug-free daily supplement that helps your body fight pain naturally. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor uses a unique formula of natural ingredients. It doesn't just mask pain, it helps reduce or even eliminate it. Wherever you're hurting, back, neck, joints, or muscles, in 3 weeks or less, you'll start to feel the difference all day, every day. So whatever you like to do, swimming, pickleball, hanging out in the garden, Relief Factor can help you feel good again and let you enjoy all your favorite outdoor activities all summer long. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF and save on your first order. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Fight pain naturally with Relief Factor.
President Biden's exit from the 2024 race has gotten reaction around the world, with many leaders praising the job he's done. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky posted on X a thank you to the president for his help preventing Russia from occupying his country. What happens next year? Former President Trump has said he can quickly end the war if he wins.
House Intelligence Committee Chairman Mike Turner of Ohio said on CBS Face the Nation he has no doubt that a new Trump administration would provide Ukraine what it needs to repel Russia. But nations should understand that America is not just an enforcer.
We cannot have the United States just be a guarantor of territorial integrity of countries around the world. We need military alliances. That means they need to be strong, and they need to participate. That's certainly what his criticism of NATO has been.
Chairman Turner says the former president wants to end the Russia-Ukraine war and believes a fully equipped Ukraine could force Russia to the negotiating table. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
The world's attention will soon shift to France for the Summer Games.
With the Paris Olympics beginning Friday, the torch procession is nearing its end, making its way to the opening ceremony's venue. On Sunday, a Lebanese photojournalist, severely wounded during an Israeli strike on South Lebanon, carried the torch to honor all journalists killed or wounded while on the job. Christina Assia of Agence France Presse was among 6 journalists struck in October 2023. She was severely wounded and had part of her right leg amputated. AFP videographer Dylan Collins, also wounded in the attack, pushed Essie's wheelchair as she carried the torch. Ann Carrick, Fox News.
We've just learned NBA star LeBron James will be the male flag bearer for Team USA at the Paris opening ceremony. The female athlete is yet to be announced. Xander Schauffele will try to repeat as gold medalist for the Americans in golf. He just won his second major tournament of the year, the Open Championship in Scotland. On Wall Street, stock futures are rising before this week's trading. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM News Time, 8:05. I'm Andrew Domenio. This update brought to you by the new destination Kia of Utica on Commercial Drive in Yorkville. We're at 66 degrees under cloudy skies. Your full weather forecast is coming up. Local lawmakers are reacting to President Biden's decision not to seek a second term in the White House. Mr. Biden announced yesterday he was dropping out of the race and is endorsing Vice President Kamala Harris. 22nd District Republican Congressman Brandon Williams put out a statement calling Democrats the party of chaos and saying people who cast ballots during primaries had their votes jettisoned. State Senator and Democrat John Mannion praised Biden for putting his country's needs first. Governor Hochul is now calling for federal aid to be given to area residents who were impacted by severe weather. If approved, money would go to communities in Oneida, Oswego, and Madison counties to help individuals affected after storms rolled through the region last week. The city of Rome and village of Canastota ended up being hit by tornadoes that caused extensive damage and 1 death. It'll be up to President Biden to sign off on a disaster declaration. Starting today, folks who live in Utica and surrounding areas will have the chance to pick up free food. The JPC Day of Celebration Food and Gift Giveaway begins. It is set to run from 2 p.m. until 6:30 p.m. on West Street and from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. tomorrow. Among the items being given out are fresh fruit, oatmeal, and bread. People who attend are asked to bring a form of government-issued identification, such as a birth certificate, driver's license, or social security card. Central New York drivers are paying a little less of their hard-earned money when it comes time to fill up their vehicles, but not much. According to AAA, the average cost for a gallon of regular fuel is $3.57, down only a penny in the past week, but is still 2 cents more than this time last month. Right now, the state average is sitting at $3.60, while nationally, it's $3.50. And a T-Rex dinosaur skeleton is being dethroned. A Stegosaurus skeleton that's 150 million years old was sold for a record $44.6 million at Sotheby's. It was the most ever paid for a fossil, surpassing the almost $32 million paid for a T-Rex skeleton called Stan 4 years ago. This bidding war lasted 15 minutes with 7 bidders from around the world on the phone. The winning bidder was hedge fund billionaire Ken Griffin. Sotheby's says it's the most complete and best preserved specimen of its size ever discovered. Griffin reportedly wants to put the Stegosaurus in a museum. It is 8:08. Your weather forecast is brought to you by Wheelock Disposal.
Here's the latest from the WIBX Weather Center. Partly cloudy skies this morning, giving way to occasional showers this afternoon. High of 87 degrees. Tonight, rain showers early, then thunderstorms overnight, low of 66. And tomorrow, mostly sunny skies with a high of 81. That's the latest. I'm Mike Johnson for WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Right now, we're at 66 degrees under partly cloudy skies. It is 8:08. Sports brought to you by IBEW Nika 43 local contractors. The Giants starting quarterback ready for training camp. That's according to Daniel Jones himself, who told the media yesterday he expects to be a full participant when veterans report to mandatory practice tomorrow. The dynamic gunslinger is coming off ACL surgery back in November, which kept him out of OTAs last month. The 27-year-old was limited to 6 games last season. The Rays took another game from their division rival after holding off the Yankees 6-4 in the Bronx. Aaron Judge launched a 3-run bomb for his 35th home run of the season. Marcus Stroman got the loss after giving up 2 earned runs over 5+ innings, as New York has dropped 3 of 5 to stay second in the AL East. At 59-42, the team will go for the 4-game split this afternoon. The Mets, meanwhile, also fell to a division foe following a 4-2 loss to the Marlins from Miami. J.D. Martinez and Luis Torrens drove in runs. Christian Scott got the loss after giving up 3 runs on 7 hits over 4 innings. New York has lost 3 of their last 5 to stay third in the NL East at 50-48. They'll look to split the 4-game series tonight. The Texans are adding an experienced playmaker to their backfield. ESPN was reporting that Houston has signed free agent veteran running back Cam Akers to a contract. He's coming off a torn left Achilles that he suffered in Week 9 of last season while suiting up for the Vikings. He has torn his left Achilles tendon twice after also sustaining the injury during the 2021 offseason. The 25-year-old has rushed for 1,581 yards and 11 touchdowns through 36 career games spent with the Vikings and Rams. The Americans are wrapping up the USA Basketball Showcase. Team USA men's basketball is set to play Germany today in London. The Cavaliers locked down one of their star players over the weekend. ESPN reporting Saturday Evan Mobley signed a 5-year, $224 million maximum rookie contract extension. And the man, Xander Schauffele, celebrating his second career major championship victory after winning the 152nd Open Championship. Kyle Larson surged late to take home the checkered flag in the Brickyard 400. That is your sports. I do want to tell you, if you're dealing with pain, and it could be anywhere, your neck, back, knee, wrist, arthritis, shoulder pain, neuropathy, whatever ails you, you can find some relief, possibly, with Revive Softwave Therapy at 2709 Genesee Street in Utica. It's an FDA-cleared, non-invasive, and drug-free treatment for chronic pain, inflammation, and all joint issues. I was dealing with inflammation and pain in my foot and ankle area, and after about 6 treatments, my pain went away. If you mention the Keeler Show when you call them up to make your appointment, you'll get a sweet discount, part of Discovery Days. That'll get you an initial consultation with one of their doctors, your first Softwave Therapy treatment, and they'll put you on a treatment and recovery plan and assessment so that you can heal the natural way. Team USA has one of these devices in their locker rooms, and now it's in Utica for you. If you need more information, go to reviveutica.com. That's where you can book an appointment online. You can find out the benefits of Softwave, look into the research that came to develop this product, and see several videos, including how the treatment is conducted. ReviveUtica.com, or you can call them at 315-725-8427. 315-725-8427. Let the healing begin with Revive Softwave Therapy on Genesee Street in Utica.
So with the election, the big election coming up, and there's some local portions of that election as well, Congress, state Senate, Assembly. We have a lot of state and national races to be looking at. Officials are out there saying maybe you should avoid being a misinformation spreader.
Okay.
So you hear something, you're like, did you realize this is going on? And then you spread it.
Yeah.
You got to be careful. Unprecedented election. We all know we're about to even be more overloaded with various forms of untrue information all over social media and on the internet. And it's hard to tell the difference with AI today. People who knowingly spread false and deceptive information on all sides of the political spectrum are a major part of the problem. However, the people who don't know they're spreading rumors that aren't true, they're probably a bigger part of the problem. Mm-hmm. So here's the suggestion. Are you ready? Don't be a misinformation super spreader. Number 1, educate yourself. Just because you're reading it in a meme or online or something doesn't make it true. Number 2, recognize your personal vulnerabilities. Confirmation bias is where you see some form of content that aligns with what you choose to believe, even though there may be no truth at all to it. Take the time to do even a little research if you're not 100% sure of what you're spreading, what you're sharing. Consider the source. If you're getting news and you find some shocking news and it comes from, Sputnik News or something like that, you got to consider the source.
Yeah.
Number 4, pause. Taking a moment before sharing content you're not sure about can be very, very helpful. Number 5, emotional reactions. People often share things because of their gut reactions to the content. Studies have proven that people tend to share more misinformation when it's something that evokes an emotional reaction in them. Number 6, if you see something, say something. Yes, this can be in social media as well, but you'll be on the right side if you see something and report it. And finally, number 7, support. Going along with the last item, if you see someone you know calling out BS, then be a friend and have their back if you know they are in the right.
All right.
So these 7 bullet points of advice, my guess is most people will not take the advice. Most people are just going to keep spreading crap because it kind of fits their own narrative. Is it possible to drive a reward-winning Mazda with 0% APR financing? There's a question for you. Now, this is not BS. This is all real, and you can find out for sure at Steve Ponte Mazda, where the answer is yes. Drive a new 2024 Mazda CX-5 SE model for only $285 a month on a 36-month lease, or save with 0% APR financing on select award-winning new 2024 Mazdas. See the dealership for details. As Ricky Z says, come on down and let's make your deal on a new Mazda. Where it's always easy to do business, Steve Ponte Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville.
Ready to hit the road with confidence this summer? Look no further than Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, your one-stop shop for top-quality tires at unbeatable prices. Now through September 2nd, get up to $130 back on a Firestone Visa prepaid card when you buy a set of 4 eligible Firestone tires. Or buy 4 eligible Bridgestone tires and get up to $140 back on a Bridgestone Visa prepaid card. Experience the thrill of savings on every mile. To learn more and to schedule an appointment, visit TallmansTire.com.
I don't like onions. I'm doing paleo. Do they have gluten-free bagels? You can't juggle every food request for a work event, or can you? EasyCater is the all-in-one tech platform that makes it easy to get restaurant catering for work, with options for any group size, taste, dietary preference, or budget. EasyCater saves your favorite restaurants and orders, which makes reordering a snap. Need to modify an order? No problem. So when it comes to food for work, make it easy on yourself with EasyCater. Start your order at easycater.com.
Summer congestion got you down. Whether it's allergies or a summer cold, being congested can ruin your whole day. You feel tired and run down, like you're missing out on summer fun. At Navage, we're here to make breathing easy easier. Navage uses patented gentle suction technology to help clear out allergens, dust, and mucus without drugs. In just 30 seconds, you'll be on your way to a better day. Get Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, Sam's Club, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, or online at Navage.com. Navage. Breathe better, fast.
Utica's first cannabis dispensary is local, licensed, and now open to all. Exit 31 Exotic is your home for edibles, flower, vapes, and all your cannabis needs. Visit Exit 31 Exotic at 255 Genesee Street or online at uticacannabisco.com.
For use only by adults 21 years of age or older. Keep out of reach of children and pets. In case of accidental ingestion or overconsumption, contact the National Poison Control Center hotline 1-800-222-1222 or call 911. Please consume responsibly. License number OCMCAURD 2400076.
Get ready for this week's half-off Thursday deal with SeizeTheDeal.com. Score your half-off gift certificate to Joey's Pizzeria this Thursday morning starting at 8. Get $50 for $25 with Seize the Deal's half-off Thursday. Joey's Pizzeria on Upper Turin Road in Rome is your go-to place for New York-style hand-tossed pizza and authentic Italian dinners. Enjoy great food and great service at Joey's Pizzeria. Visit joeyspizzeriany.com for more info. Get your half-off Thursday gift certificates this Thursday from Joey's Pizzeria. Hurry, they sell out fast at SeizeTheDeal.com.
Let's face it, life can just get messy. John's Cleanouts and Property Preservation will take care of it for you. If you need help with clearing out your home or commercial building, John's Cleanouts will handle it. We understand sometimes it's more than just a cleanout, it's an accumulation of someone's life. We go the extra mile to do the job with integrity, and we're fully insured in the industry. Call John's Cleanouts and Property Preservation today and take the stress out of your mess.
Hi, I'm Andy Meadows, Chief Editor of Radio Update. What is Radio Update, you ask? It's an online publication specific to radio that shares innovative ideas about how to move our industry forward. Check us out if you're in radio or interested in getting into an industry that's over 100 years old and stronger than ever. Broadcast radio is now the largest mass medium in the United States. If you're like me and you have a passion for radio, or you want to put the power of radio to work for your brand, log on to radioupdate.com.
The doctor's office that mixed up your files has your Social Security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info and last 3 addresses. Your info is in endless places that could accidentally expose your info to identity theft. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code CLAY at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Make sure you have the record player on at night, the phone. Make sure the kids hear words. But you gotta, I mean, we gotta reassure. Look, here, my message to everybody I talk to.
We have some breaking news as President Joe Biden has just announced that he is dropping out of the 2024 presidential race.
Bye, bye, Biden. Not gonna miss you, no. Bye, bye, Biden. Hasta la vista, Joe. We know you were senile, even AOC could see. And though you said you weren't, your donors disagreed. Bye, bye,
resolve our difference at the battle box. That's how we do it, at the battle box.
Time to say goodbye. Bye now.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Wow. That's, listen, the prediction was out there. It was going to happen on Sunday, and certainly it did. The president announcing he will not run for re-election. On the line right now from Fox News Radio is Jared Halpern. And good morning, Jared. Good morning. Sometimes I think I hit the button and I forgot to hit the button.
Hello.
Hi, Jared. I'm sorry.
Good morning.
So, Biden is out. Wow. The storyline, the timeline of everything going on in the last month, you couldn't write this.
It's been an extraordinary 26 days or so since that presidential debate. Listen, I think that we had talked a lot about how it was just becoming untenable for the president, that as these calls kind of increased and donations and donors started to sit on the sideline, that it was going to be chaotic if he stayed in. I was curious how this Democratic convention in Chicago was going to play out. Were delegates and party leaders going to chant his name 4 more years after all had publicly kind of called for him to step aside? And so it seems like, these conversations he had with Pelosi, with Schumer, with Obama over the weekend kind of reached this crescendo here to this announcement we got in the 2:00 hour yesterday afternoon with the president signaling he would step down and endorse fully his vice president, Kamala Harris, who has worked, pretty much nonstop since then to shore up the type of support now that she is getting in the number of endorsements and the $50 million raised in the hours since the president announced his re-election plans.
It's funny. We had people that were, quote, in the know, telling us in the middle of last week that it would be Sunday. I'm like, how would you know that, really? Well, and then it happens on Sunday. I feel like the writing was there on the wall. And, he was going to still say, I'm fighting, or I'm not going to give up, I'm not getting out of the race. But he had to have known last week this was all over.
Listen, I think that the polling had become what it was. You also had an increasing number of Democrats who were worried about down ballot, that this could be some sort of like blowout and, the Senate and the House would be lost. And so, listen, when you lose the support of party leadership, that's what makes it hard. That's ultimately the last time we saw something like this happen was in 1968 with Lyndon Johnson. And it was the same situation. He narrowly won New Hampshire. Party leadership was skittish, and ultimately he decided not to run for re-election. A very similar this happened much later in the process. He dropped out, I think, in February or March. But a very similar kind of build up to that decision.
And you can even compare it to Richard Nixon. He was very, very adamant that he was defiant. But then when his closest allies came and said, "You don't have us anymore," and I think the same thing happened to Biden here.
The thing that I said yesterday is everybody is in the race until they're not. Right? Yeah. Nobody says, well, I'm thinking about dropping out. We'll see how that's not the way it ever goes. But that being said, this did seem to catch a lot of people off guard. Our understanding is that even the top campaign and White House officials were not told until right before that letter was sent out. This was kept very, very close, very tight circle that Biden keeps, friends, family. And it seemed like a decision that he wrestled with, made the decision, and pulled the trigger.
Yeah. It's funny. I get in my personal email, I'm Republican, and I have Democrats in my house and independents. And for some reason, because polling is so difficult today, they're doing their research and creating these lists. The lists are clearly not accurate because I get everybody's email. I get my sons, I get my daughters, I get my wife's. And I'm going to tell you, as early as this morning, there were emails addressed to the Democrats in my house Joe Biden saying we're still going to win this thing. Please give.
They got to
money.
write those a couple of days in advance.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So anyway, it is what it is. And now, where do we go from here? It's going to be very interesting to see. My guess is the Dems are going to try to unite before the convention.
They need to unify fast.
Yeah.
The thing that came out of Milwaukee is that Republicans united in a way that a lot of people thought they would not be able to. That party is fully now behind Trump in ways that they weren't even a week or two ago. Democrats are going to have that moment, and I think they're going to have it before that convention in Chicago.
Yeah, I agree. As always, Jared, we appreciate the time. Thank you so much.
Sure thing.
Have a great day. Jared Halpern from Fox News Radio. And, you put all of this national news together with the local news we've been dealing with.
It's been insane.
I've never seen anything like it.
Aren't you glad you're going on vacation?
Starting with after this week, both Andrew and I will be on vacation. And do you go back to the horrific shooting in Utica. From that point forward, it's just been one story after another. Add a tornado in there, add an avalanche of political debacle from the debate to the attempted assassination to now Biden dropping out of the race. It's just incredible, the news cycle that we've been dealing with. And then you add the tornado, as we had said, and there is good news out of all of it. The way this community has reacted, although Big Honey said, have you ever been to a community where a disaster happened and they're like, sorry, you guys are on your own?
Yeah, we're not helping you out.
We kind of haven't seen that before.
Not here.
But
Definitely not here.
We have not. It's incredible. And the Rome Salvation Army, their relief efforts have been going strong since this happened last Tuesday. On the line right now is from the Salvation Army is Captain Ted Tressler. Captain, good morning. Thanks so much for coming on.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. I appreciate this.
Well, listen, we appreciate you during times like these. Let's talk about what it's been like over the course of the last week.
It's been a whirlwind, if you will. My wife and I just moved here about 2 weeks before the storm, so it was an unusual welcome. But
yeah, wow.
It feels like it was a God-ordained kind of appointment because my wife and I both have disaster response experience, and so I think that has helped us to immediately respond to community needs. Literally within minutes, we were in the downtown area. We just walked down with cases of water and snacks, and then built from there to serve the emergency responders and those who were still walking around a little bit, glazed over and dazed and confused from what had just taken place. And so from there, moving forward for the last 6 days or so, whatever it's been, it's been a gradual ramp up, and we're seeing the natural progression of a disaster response. We've been doing partnering to help the Red Cross serve people. They've been providing sheltering. We've been providing providing lunches, about 500 to 800 lunches a day, snacks, drinks in the community, plus doing roving, providing some meals in bulk to, as requested. One day we had some over here at the Georgian Arms. A couple days, one day we had delivered 100 meals to the seniors drop-in center down on, I think it's James Street. We've just been made ourselves available for as needed, but we've been basically serving somewhere between 500 to 1,000 lunches, meals a day, along with many snacks, drinks, and, as well. And we're here for a bigger purpose too. We're here to love and serve people, meet their deeper needs as best we can, as with matters of faith and emotional support and all that. So we've had those opportunities to come alongside and put an arm around folks as they need it. And it's been devastating for many people. But I think, as we've all experienced difficulties in our lives, we know that on the other side of the difficulty, there is there is a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
So we just need to help folks find hope and get them there.
Today you'll have beginning at 1:30 p.m. another food distribution, right?
Well, that's not us. That's
okay.
That's actually a collaboration. We're working within the WHOAD, the volunteer organizations that are active in disasters.
Got it. Okay, with the food bank and yep.
The food bank in St. John's Church down the street from us, in I think 210 East Dominic, I think it is.
Yep.
They're doing a food distribution event today at like 1:30. So we shared that onto our Facebook page just to help get word out into the community so people are aware. We've had a lot of traffic to our site, so we wanted to utilize that.
Just to get the word out. Yeah.
Yep. Just communicating.
All right. Well, listen. How can someone give to the Salvation Army and to Rome Relief?
If you want to help here, as we transition away from food into financial assistance and social services to help people get reestablished, that's where we move from needing food to needing dollars.
Yeah.
And can write a check to the Salvation Army, put in the memo line that is for tornado relief or disaster relief or something like that, and that will go into a special account. It'll be used just for that. It'll be restricted to disaster assistance, and that will help us to get people what they need: clothing, shelter, rent, whatever it is we're able to afford to help them with. We'll get it into our community's hands.
Okay. Speaking with Captain Tad Tressler of the Rome Salvation Army, where do you come from before here?
Oh, my wife and I were born and raised in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, a little south of here. We entered work with the Salvation Army in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Then we served for 4 years in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, 3 years in Reading, then 3 years in Pittsburgh. Most recently, we spent 2 years in Portland, Maine, and now we're back here to upstate New York. And it's been a little bit of traveling for us, but it's beautiful. It's a wonderful way to serve people, and this is a beautiful part of the world. We love it here.
And it is what you'll find about this community is we are very, very giving. Oftentimes we do, when it comes to fundraisers, we outshine big cities. It's really quite incredible.
Yeah. I would say that, and I've said this from the very first day that this happened. The community volunteer spirit, supportive being supportive of one another is unlike no other I've seen. Like I said, we've had experience in disaster response, but this is a unique place. People are generous with their time, their resources, their effort, and they really do genuinely care. Walmart has been a fantastic partner. They're always supportive of their communities, but in this area, it is beyond anything I've seen before. It's been fantastic.
You can search for the Salvation Army of Rome on Facebook, and of course, if you need assistance, you can reach out. Captain, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Right.
We'll talk to you again soon.
All right, with an update. Thanks so much. It is amazing how this community gives, isn't it?
Always.
Got a break. Rabbi Diddy Walks from the Shabbat House in Clinton was just recently in Israel. He's now back. We'll speak with him on what's happening there on WIBX.
There's no glory in getting beat up on the job. Aches and pains aren't trophies. They're just barriers keeping pros like you from getting work done. But Ferris commercial mowers at Clinton Tractor help you finish strong and feel good doing it with patented suspension technology. Visit Clinton Tractor today for a test drive and feel the Ferris difference. Or go to clintontractor.net. Ferris, work hard, feel good.
We are the leader in service, Clinton Tractor.
There's an issue cutting through the bipartisan bickering in Congress.
It's AM radio. The overwhelming majority of legislators, Democrats and Republicans, support a bill to keep AM radio in cars. But time is running out. Text AM to 52886 and ask Congress to bring this bill to the floor for a vote now. AM radio is too important to let this moment pass us by.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
It's common knowledge that after age 30, our metabolism changes. We have less energy and gain weight easier. There's a way to feel better, not in years or months, but sometimes in just days.
I'm Chuck Norris. I tried everything. Working with a team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick. Morning Kick is a revolutionary new formula that combines all my favorite supplements into one daily drink.
Morning Kick has probiotics to help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and powerful anti-aging supplements. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, and helps manage stress.
I look and feel better than I have in years.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com, use code SUPPORT, or text SUPPORT to 511-511 and claim 40% off. Roundhouseprovisions.com, code SUPPORT.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee. You could be feeling these changes within just a couple of days.
Text SUPPORT to 511-511.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
Paid for by government. Did you hear? A secret hoard of 1904 $20 gold Liberty coins have been found. These gorgeous 1904p gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck, and less than 500 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this secret U.S. gold coin discovery a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and you can own a piece of the hoard. When you call, you are guaranteed a 1904 gold Liberty struck at the iconic Philadelphia Mint. With limited availability, you must call now. These 1904 dated gold coins are still in uncirculated condition with brilliant luster. That is 120 years of history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-973-9819. Call now and you'll receive a free bonus, a $75 value free with every order. Call 1-800-973-9819 now to secure your 1904p $20 gold Liberty coins before they sell out. That's 1-800-973-9819.
Utica's first cannabis dispensary is local, licensed, and now open to all. Exit 31 Exotic is your home for edibles, flower, vapes, and all your cannabis needs. Visit Exit 31 Exotic at 255 Genesee Street or online at uticacannabisco.com.
For use only by adults 21 years of age or older. Keep out of reach of children and pets. In case of accidental ingestion or overconsumption, contact the National Poison Control Center hotline 1-800-222-1222 or call 911. Please consume responsibly. License number OCMCAURD 2400076.
New York State's largest selection of Purple mattresses is at Mattress Express. Come in and try all 9 Purple mattresses. We pull up the website and give you the same price as online. No appointment necessary. All locations at mattressexpressny.com.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
A few things going on in the world. Over the weekend, we went down the rabbit hole. The rabbit hole, which is the Dave Chappelle bit on Rick James, which goes back quite a few years. I'm assuming maybe, I don't know, how many years ago. So, and it all started because we were in Buffalo, and I didn't realize this, but Rick James is from Buffalo. He's buried in Buffalo.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Rick James, the funk...
Super freak,
yeah.
I didn't know that he was buried in Buffalo.
And apparently there's a story where Rick James used to... they'd all hang together, and it included Eddie Murphy's brother, Charlie Murphy. And Charlie Murphy was telling the story about Rick James, and that Rick James would just walk up to Charlie Murphy and punch him in the face. And he's like,
what?
I didn't know what to do. You know, I'm my career is just coming up. It's rising, and I just didn't, so I would take it. And one day I just taken it to the point where I couldn't take it anymore, and I cold cocked him and I knocked him out. And then recently Rick James was interviewed. Well, not recently because he's no longer with us. But shortly after that, he was interviewed and asked about it, and he's like, who would do such a thing? And then Charlie Murphy had said that Rick James went to Eddie's house along with Charlie Murphy, Eddie Murphy's house. And Eddie had this really nice couch, and he said Rick James got his boots, and his boots were all muddy. He got up on top of Eddie Murphy's couch, and he started grinding his feet into Eddie Murphy's couch.
Oh, because of the bit?
No, this is before the bit.
Oh,
this is all before the bit. These are all true stories, apparently. And Rick James is like, can you believe who would walk into somebody's house and grind their feet into muddy shoes and boots into somebody's couch? And he pauses and then said, yeah, I did it. I did grind him in there. Listen, I'm Rick James, bitch. I mean, that's the line. So you got to look at and I'm going to tell you, not only did we find the Dave Chappelle bit, which is just hilarious, you find that it's real. All the stories they're telling, Charlie Murphy and Dave Chappelle, the stories are real. And he had had enough, Charlie Murphy, and he'd had enough, and that's it. He laid him out, Rick James. And then, Rick James was getting older and older and ultimately passed away, but he's buried at a cemetery in Buffalo, New York.
I did not know that.
No, you got to know these things.
So,
and if you go down the same rabbit hole as we go down, you would know that.
I would.
You would have known it.
So this is funny. I'm making a realization. John in Bridgewater is very confused. I guess he doesn't understand that Lance in Lee is Lance, and he's from the town of Lee.
I know it is.
He said
Lance and Lee.
Hey, Bill, haven't heard you guys say anything about Lance and Lee. Are they okay?
Yes, Lance is a one person.
He's from the town of Lee.
Refers to himself as Lance in Lee.
Yes, and we hope he is doing okay, because since this storm happened, we have not heard from him.
Flight attendants with Southwest Airlines are experiencing a new kind of menace in the skies. Thanks to this summer's intense heat, soda cans are bursting after being loaded onto some flights. According to airline officials, a series of incidents have been reported involving cans of carbonated drinks rupturing. In addition to the mess, there have also been 20 injuries to employees reported, including one hand injury when the cans actually explode. Did you know this is happening?
It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. And then the other thing that I thought was very, very interesting is the flat tires on the vehicles in Rome, because of the pressure drops so dramatically when a tornado comes in that it just sucks the air right out of the tires, and the tires become flat.
That's strange.
Did you know anything about that?
I did not.
That's true. I think it's true. And things aren't going your way when you feel the need to ask, how bad am I? Last December, Evan Sims got into substantial trouble after getting into a verbal argument with his soon-to-be ex-girlfriend on a Breeze Airlines flight from Orlando to Rhode Island. The short version of the story is the girl broke up with him. He then poured a drink on her, became verbally aggressive with the flight crew, and said, "Oh, by the way, my ex has a bomb." He reported that the woman had a bomb in her bag. So now
what a jerk.
He has been sentenced. I believe he had a fine of $25,000, and he's been sentenced to 8 months in jail.
Good.
No, I'm sorry, a 2-year jail sentence, 8 months in airline jail, meaning he can't fly for 8 months. Or maybe he's served 8 months of his sentence, but anyway, he got a 2-year sentence and had to come up with $25,000 in cash. You do not fool around with airplanes today. There is no humor. They don't see the funny in it. Yes, they have places where you can drink, but don't overdrink. If you overdrink, you could find yourself getting into big trouble on an airplane. I want to go to, if we could, Rabbi Diddy Wax is in from a trip to Israel. He's with the Shabbat House in Clinton, which is not affiliated with Hamilton College, but certainly many college students
serves a lot of the
are served by the facility. He has just returned from Israel and is on the line right now. Rabbi, good morning.
Good morning, Bill. How you doing?
Wonderful. Tell me, what is your take after coming back, after seeing what you've seen over there?
Thank you so much for having me on. I have got to say that after visiting Israel, obviously I've been there many times, but after this trip, which was part of a solidarity trip that many of my colleagues on campus, many Chabads that serve college campuses, about 200 of us, went on this trip, and all I can say is the media, unfortunately, does not represent the reality. The Israeli people are so surprised, well, not surprised, but they're confused and bewildered by the stories we tell that people report about them. We speak to regular Israeli soldiers whose legs have been blown off, whose arms have been blown off, and their only wish was to protect their families. These are young kids who have the same ambitions as college students, or maybe a little bit more serious ambitions.
Yeah.
And it was heartbreaking to be standing at the Nova Festival, music festival. We stood at that site. We went to Sderot, which is in the south of Israel, and saw where that police station that was blown up on October 7th. So it was and we heard from many survivors, and all kinds of people. I met a policewoman who herself had by herself managed to eliminate a bunch of terrorists on October 7th, while many of her friends perished beside her. And I just couldn't help think, if you were in America, you'd be this big hero. You would be heralded as the greatest woman, right, woman of the year. And now they call you, a criminal. And to me, it was such a reminder that most of the anti-Israel rhetoric that we see is anti-Semitism. I just can't see it any other way.
What do you? I know one of the big stories over the weekend, which is tough to see, is the stories of the bombing of the hospitals, and obviously the Israeli army is saying, and Israeli intelligence is saying, they're hiding military units there. I almost feel as if because then the problem is when after the bombing, they're not able to show in this most recent, not only show any evidence of any military presence there. However, I wonder if Hamas is simply giving bad intelligence as accurate intelligence, and is almost baiting the Israeli army to attack these soft locations with a lot of civilians in order to try to win this war of mentality, the war of the hearts and minds of the people, not just there, but around the world. How do you feel about that?
Okay, so I'm not a military expert, and I do not know what's going on the ground with specific hospitals and specific operations. I sort of am taken by your reading of the situation. It may or may not be the case. You and I don't know that.
We don't know.
What I will say is, when you're in Israel, and the people who are going to do these operations, I didn't speak to pilots or anything, but the people who are in the army, there is no glee in the destruction of Gaza from the people I spoke to, many of them, many soldiers, many people in different units, etc. And none of them are excited. And on the other side, on October 7th, you had many people who broadcast their own glee at the destruction and the known vicious and terrible, killing of
beheadings, rapings, everything.
Which they now say didn't happen, etc. Right. So to me, that's the backdrop in which all of this has to be understood.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible there are things going on that shouldn't happen? It's a war, I have no doubt, but do I think the evidence behind the backdrop doesn't seem to lend itself to a situation in which Israel is going after trying to bomb every hospital.
Yeah.
You can paint that picture if you want, but again, I think the premise that they're starting from is that Israel is this some homicidal state that wants to destroy its neighbors. And if you just speak to people on the ground, unless there's one big guy running the whole show, that's just not the case of what the regular Israeli population are trying to do.
And
tragic it is.
There is no doubt, though, that Hamas has placed their military, which become targets of the Israeli military, in these areas where there are civilians, and they're using these civilians. They're really the ones who are responsible for the civilian deaths. It is They have no care whatsoever for civilians, it seems.
That you're 100% right about. And I stood in State Road at some lookout where you could actually see Gaza, and we were able to, and they showed us, like, it's a very small parcel of land relatively.
Yeah.
We didn't see the whole thing, but we saw the northern part of it. And it was just, people sitting here in their armchairs giving commentary on how to run it. But it's a very, very difficult war because you're talking about, just imagine, like, I'm right now in Brooklyn, and, you can imagine trying to eliminate one house that's in the brownstones, right? So, like, they're all on top of each other, and it is very difficult. And there are so many of them, and they are so scattered, and it's not one needle in a haystack.
Yeah.
It's many, many, many needles in many haystacks. So it's very difficult. But again, the premise that I put to people is, if it was, Israelis are not running around celebrating deaths en masse, and they are, but they are very sensitive to the fact that they still have hostages in Gaza, and they're out to get them. And I would, if it was my kids, and I feel like these people are my extended family, I would do anything I could.
I agree.
To get them back.
And then college campuses here in the United States, I do believe they're in a position where they send everybody home, and they're just hoping that this war comes to an end before campus begins getting populated again, and these students go back to school. However,
trust me, I'm praying for the same thing.
Yeah, and for many reasons, right? However, here we are nearing August, and by mid-August, students are coming back to campus. I don't see any closure of this war before kids come back.
I'm not going to say I'm not worried about that. That is definitely a worry. There is major polarization on this issue. There is, even more than there is polarization, there is ignorance, and there is posturing, and people don't know what they're talking about. I'm not an expert. I'm not claiming to be an expert, but I'm very proud to say, proud is an extreme word, but I'm very confident in saying I don't know when I don't know. Unfortunately, many college students, college professors, many people in all walks of life feel that they have to have an opinion, that they're justified in having an opinion, and they don't do any research at all. So I share your hopes, and I don't just hope for the end to the war because it will be good for college students.
Right.
It will be good for the people in Gaza and the people of Israel.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Finish this.
It is, I guess, finally, you say you're not an expert, and I appreciate that. You have traveled there, which is more than almost everybody else can say.
That's true. And I have
seen it firsthand.
There. I was with all my siblings. I'm one of many children, many children. We all spent a day together in Israel. We were there for my brother's wedding actually as well, so that was really nice. And I'm saying I see the culture and the society on the ground all the time, and seeing people from all walks of life. It's one of the most diverse places. It has more people of color than people not of than white people, which is just amazing because people paint it as a colonialist, white settler. And when you tell the people there, when I tell a black Jewish Israeli what they say about Israel in America, and it's confusion. It doesn't make sense. It's like you're calling me something I'm not. And so I just beg people to really learn, self-educate, and trust the people to some degree. Don't take everything everyone says for granted, but listen to other voices, because what you're hearing is very often just literally made up. I don't know where they get this information from.
And we should not forget our response after 9/11, and how you feel when you go through such a horrible attack, such as the Israelis did, and then just terribly inhumane treatment of the hostages and hostages taken. As we said, some people beheaded. How would we react to that as a nation?
And don't forget that after September 11th, and this is not to minimize it, God forbid, it was huge, but September 11th, there were no hostages taken, from what I remember.
Yeah.
I might be wrong, but I don't think so. And then when you also do the numbers, when you just compare it to what this means to Israel, everyone in Israel knows someone either personally or secondhand who's affected by what's currently going on. And you can't say that for 9/11. So there's not, in no way, 9/11 was huge. What I'm trying to say is this is for Israel something even bigger than 9/11.
Yeah. Rabbi Diddy Walks, we appreciate your insight, your firsthand experience. We do appreciate it, and give you all of our support here in the studio, no doubt.
Thank you so much. I feel it. Have a great day.
All right, thank you.
All right, you too.
And boy, it just continues, right? It's terrible.
Indeed.
Speaking of somebody who's very, very supportive of Israel's plight, Representative Brandon Williams, we'll talk to him about that and Rome relief and any federal funds that may very well be coming or should be coming to Rome. We'll get to Brandon tomorrow. Ran out of time today. News is next.
Ready to hit the road with confidence this summer? Look no further than Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, your one-stop shop for top-quality tires at unbeatable prices. Now through September 2nd, get up to $130 back on a Firestone Visa prepaid card when you buy a set of 4 eligible Firestone tires. Or buy 4 eligible Bridgestone tires and get up to $140 back on a Bridgestone Visa prepaid card. Experience the thrill of savings on every mile. To learn more and to schedule an appointment, visit tallmanstire.com.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out.
Attention. If your teen or preteen is or has been addicted to Instagram, Snapchat, or TikTok and been treated for eating disorders, body image issues, anxiety, depression, or suicidal thoughts, you may be eligible to